The Jake Asman Show will begin shortly. Thanks to all these great Patreon members who help support the show. Get your super chats ready. Jake will be here in just a moment. If you love the New York Jets, this is the place to be. And now, the Jake Asman Show.
There are some rumblings of a Mike Vrabel and Aaron Rodgers team up with the Jets in 2025. Would it happen? Should it happen? Does it make sense to happen? We'll talk about that with Jets reporter Nick Faria in his weekly spot on the show. Ladies and gentlemen, let's hit it and get it started. Man.
This isn't the same old Jets. We have Aaron freaking Rodgers. We had Garrett Wilson. We have Breece Hall. Please subscribe and hit the like button below. Super chat, baby. Cut the line. We have Sauce Gardner. We have Quinnen Williams. Now it's time to talk all things New York Jets. It's the Jake Asman Show.
Here we go on a football Friday. There's 4 regular season Jet games left. Jets, Jaguars this Sunday in a game we'll be talking about for decades to come. And joining us right now in his weekly spot on the show is Jets beat reporter Nick Faria. Nick, welcome aboard, my man. How are you?
How's everything going, Jake? Great to be back on.
So when you look at this matchup on Sunday, where does it rank among some of the biggest games you'll cover?
Well, as of right now, I've only covered essentially the Jets and later on in 2022 for the Eagles. So this is certainly up there for a fight for the top overall pick.
Yeah, truly a matchup in the Tankathon standings here. And look, I wanted the win last week to stick it to the Miami Dolphins. If they win this week, great. If they lose, I'm not going to be that upset. I mean, that's kind of where I'm at right now with this game. The Rams game, even the Bills game doesn't mean all that much because the Bills feel like they're kind of locked in to one of the top seeds. But, you know, that's where we're at. It's a shame. We're in December and we're talking about draft positioning rather than a game for playoff implications.
It's unfortunate considering all the expectations this team had, but it's a microcosm of what this team still needs to worry about. I mean, this is a poorly coached football team, and of any other top sport in America, you need coaching. And it's something the Jets have been missing now for quite a long time.
We got a lot to get into during the show. If you're watching live right now, please click the like button. It helps the channel grow, and subscribe to the channel as well. We hit a membership threshold yesterday, meaning we will be doing the giveaway for the Sauce Gardner jersey coming up. I have all the names in here. Big fellow with a record in a raffle, 50 tickets with his name on it. So I feel like he's got a good chance to win. Second place prize is the Joe Namath photo. And then our next giveaway, we'll get some entries for that. Look, I thought these were going to be used at watch parties because the Jets were going to be good. Unfortunately, they stink. But the next one is the Aaron Rodgers throwback jersey, so we can pretend like we had prime Rodgers on the Jets and not what we watched this year. So we'll have that jersey and some other ones we'll start to give away. So for every membership gifted, you get a raffle ticket with your name on it, but we'll do the giveaway coming up here. I do want to play you some sound because there's a lot of talk out there about Mike Vrabel. There was a report a couple weeks back from Rich Cimini that Vrabel would absolutely be interested in this job. I want to play you from 2 years ago. Aaron Rodgers on the Pat McAfee show being asked about Mike Vrabel.
Oh, man. You and Vrabel's good friends, right?
I agree. I happen to agree. Yeah, I like Mike a lot. We talk a good amount during the season. I mean, not really about football at all, just about often how silly this business is and some of the just things that get attention. But I like Mike a lot. I've known him for years. Age has been there with some of the conversations at the Derby over the years. He's a really funny guy. And I just like his personality and the way he is. And obviously he's a great coach. He's just he always has his guys ready to play. They fly around on defense and got to take on his personality, I think.
Yeah, he's an incredible coach.
Nick, Jets hire Mike Vrabel. Is Aaron Rodgers back as the bridge quarterback next year?
I think it's more likely than not if that's going to be the case. Now, this obviously is predicated on Vrabel being the guy and having full autonomy of the roster, something he didn't have in Tennessee. But for him, he is going to have immediate pressure on him to win right from the get-go. And would you bet on him banking on Ryan Tannehill or Daniel Jones or Tyrod Taylor to come in and turn that culture, that losing culture around? It would be hard for me to see Vrabel put all his chips in that basket. I think it's more likely than not he tries to talk Rodgers into coming back for another season, playing under him for a year, and then just moving forward just like that. So there's obviously some hurdles still to go with that, but very clearly, if there is a path to Aaron Rodgers returning as Jets head coach, it's with Aaron Rodgers returning as the Jets quarterback. It comes with Mike Vrabel as the Jets head coach.
I really do think it's more likely than not Aaron's not the Jet quarterback next year. But one of the ways where it could happen is Mike Vrabel is the head coach, and he goes, look, he's maybe not what he was, but I can win with Aaron Rodgers because I'm going to coach the rest of the team around him. We know Vrabel certainly knows how to design an offense that features a running game, which the Jets are equipped to be able to do properly with their current running backs and the O-line for the most part in place. Like, I could see it. I still think it's unlikely, but if there is a scenario where Rodgers is back, obviously the coach would have to be on board with that, and Vrabel might be one of the few coaches that if he says he wants Rodgers back, Rodgers would, one, want to be back, and two, Woody Johnson would be on board with this, letting Vrabel make that decision.
Well, Jake, I would then question, okay, if you don't think it's likely, does that mean you don't think it's likely that Vrabel becomes a head coach? Because that would be my thought process. If it's unlikely Rodgers returns, it's because Vrabel is not the head coach next year. They hire Joe Brady, Todd Monken, whoever it ends up being. It's just not Vrabel, because these offensive-minded guys would want to draft their quarterbacks and have their offensive system only, and then moving forward in that end. So to me, the only way it's unlikely, as you said, it's if he's not the head coach, if he's not the one who's offered and accepts that job. And I think with Bill Belichick choosing to go to North Carolina, it sort of alters the situation currently, because you have the Dallas Cowboys, who many thought would be a logical pairing with Belichick because of the fact that he wants to coach a successful team. Jerry wants to finally win the Super Bowl. There was some rumblings there, but the fact that he chose North Carolina, the Cowboys are going to need a good head coach, someone that's well-respected around NFL circles. So Vrabel now, his name has suddenly come up in those kind of situations. So I don't see Vrabel. I've said before, I don't think he's the right fit for what the Jets need. And if that means turning their back on Aaron Rodgers for 2025, then so be it.
Why don't you think Vrabel's a good fit?
It goes back to it. I think they need a young offensive mind as the head coach. I've been pounding the table for it now for the last few months since they fired Robert Saleh and everyone realized that this was a lost season. But to me, Joe Brady, Todd Monken, these are the guys they need to go after. They can't go after any defensive-minded people and personnel, because that's what you've been doing for the last 20 years. That is the system you have tried to find. You have tried to find the leader with a defensive background over and over and over again, and it just hasn't worked. So instead of getting a veteran offensive mind, get someone that is young, who has his own system, who can develop quarterbacks. That's the most important thing this year. Outside of winning, it's about developing a quarterback that you can trust to win you these games. So Brady, Monken, I look at that. I see those two as the logical top pairings.
I think ultimately, when you look at the options for the Jets, I get it. Vrabel's not an offensive guy, but he's the most experienced or potential candidate out there.
I don't think
with,
you need
with a resume.
I don't think that's the
you
thing.
Don't value experience given where this team is at right now?
Because when it comes to experienced head coaches, they were fired for reasons. There was a reason they were fired. In the case of Vrabel, some of it didn't have to do with himself and his overall struggles, but he had to keep replacing offensive coordinators time and time again. He trusted Ryan Tannehill, and when Tannehill broke down, they didn't have an answer for him. So
that's not Vrabel's fault. The fact that he won with Tannehill in the first place is a testament to him.
Sure, but then
he needed OCs because he kept hiring good ones that got poached to be head coaches. That's a pretty good sign that he knows what he's doing.
You're in this endless cycle of having to hire different people. Eventually, you're going to get those hirings wrong. It just makes more sense to hire a guy who knows how to do it already, calls plays, and just will do it consistently, so you have the same system over and over again, and you're developing it with new offensive guys who are then hired outward.
But if the guy is not a good head coach just because he's offensive minded, like great. Like you're not going to win. You know what I mean? Like you still need a coach who does more than just, oh, he's a good offensive guy. You need to be able to hire a good coaching staff. You need to be able to establish a winning culture. Like these are all things Vrabel could do, even though he's not, an offensive play caller.
But can he develop? But this goes back to it. Winning cultures. What do winning cultures all have? They have a top quarterback. They have the guy that they.
But he didn't have that, and he won 9 or more games in 4 of his 6 years in Tennessee.
And then when the quarterback wasn't there, what happened?
Well, I mean, obviously, once Tannehill broke down in the last year with Will Levis, it kind of fell apart. But that doesn't mean that he's not a good coach. That doesn't mean that he wouldn't be able to come in and maximize the talent on this team.
I'm not saying he's a good coach, but what I am saying is the Jets need to figure out the quarterback position once and for all. Absolutely. You cannot miss with another rookie quarterback or another veteran bridge guy.
Is this the same thing as like Sean McDermott in Buffalo? He's established the culture, good defensive mind, and Josh Allen is great, so they can win, even though McDermott is a defensive guy by nature.
Sure. But also at the same point, we're also talking about a Buffalo Bills team that right now plays in a weak division, number one. And number two, they are going through their own situation where, hey, McDermott may not be the guy because he doesn't call offensive plays, and the team is very ill-prepared for playoff moments. There are people in Buffalo that think he's on the hot seat if he can't get to the conference championship.
So explain Tomlin, though. Tomlin's not an offensive guy.
Well, look, first off, when it comes to Mike Tomlin, I am someone that I'm not as high on Mike Tomlin as a lot of people are because of the fact
you're not as high on Mike Tomlin. The guy wins every year.
He finishes 9-8 every year. Sneaks into the playoffs
without a quarterback. That's a testament to coaching.
He had Roethlisberger at the end, and he couldn't win.
But I'm talking about and when he had the quarterback, he won a Super Bowl and went to a couple of them.
It's been 15 years since that happened.
I get it, but Nick, you knock on the door for enough time, eventually you break through. He at least has proven he can win a championship, and this year they're not sneaking into the playoffs. They're one of the top seeds in the conference with Russell Wilson and Justin Fields as their 2 quarterbacks.
And they've got a very tough schedule to end the year. I would like to see how they finish overall. But again, they're going
to make the playoffs, though. I mean, no one had this. Tom is probably your coach of the year right now.
Oh no, I would say LaFleur with how beat up the Vikings were. I would say O'Connell with Minnesota. The fact that he's able to rebuild Sam Darnold into a quality quarterback. But I think O'Connell is the example too. You look at Kevin O'Connell, he brings in his guy. He's able to win because he calls his own plays. He doesn't have to worry about reshuffling these play callers time and time again.
But he hired a good staff too. He's got Brian Flores calling his defense. I mean, Kansas City, their offense is not great this year, but they have Steve Spagnuolo, who's to me a Hall of Fame coordinator. Like,
and who's the head coach?
But you have to have a staff, is my point. You got to hire a good coaching staff. It's not just about, he's an offensive guy, he can call the plays. If a guy's a good coach, he's a good coach.
But again, it comes back to you have to develop quarterbacks. You have to get the quarterback right. And as of right now,
so how do we know Vrabel couldn't get the quarterback right?
Because at the end, he didn't in Tennessee.
But he wasn't the one who drafted Marcus Mariota. He inherited him. He wasn't the one who, drafted Ryan Tannehill. He was signed to be the backup to Mariota. His one crack at taking a quarterback was Will Levis in the 2nd round. That's not a real swing at a quarterback.
Again, but there are other reasons why he was fired. The team was completely barren of overall talent.
That's because the GM traded away A.J. Brown, which he was furious about. That's why he got fired.
Yes, but again, it wasn't just A.J. Brown that got him fired. But he
wasn't the GM. That's why you hear all those stuff coming out about Vrabel, that he would only take a job if he's comfortable with the GM he's working with, because his relationship with the GM in Tennessee fell apart. Yes. And then he lost the power struggle to Ron Carthon, who the owners sided with, and Vrabel was the biggest surprise firing of the season last year.
I'm telling you, all I'm saying is you need the guy who knows how to develop a quarterback. Again, that's perfectly fair to say that Mike Vrabel hasn't had the opportunity to do so, but would you rather trust him with a young quarterback or a guy who's actually done it before? But
Todd Monk has never been a head coach. Neither has Joe Brady.
Sure, but you have to trust in the fact that, again, the development of a quarterback has to be the forefront of this hire. It can't just be, okay, well, our defense is really good. Our offense can't figure it out, so we'll just try to keep doing the same things over and over again. That's the problem you've been in the last decade. You get these defensive guys who try to instill a culture. It doesn't work out because you can't get the quarterback right.
Ladies and gentlemen, the chat is exploding here. Let me read you some of the comments here, Nick. Tom says, we need a cultural change. Vrabel gives us that. Philly Noodles, Faria playing with fire right now. Yeti says, I thought Peter Castro and Rob were taking over Friday mornings. That's an implication of your takes right now, Nick. Let's see. John writes in, Mike Tomlin's legitimately the coach of the year, make difficult decisions out of the right ones and corral insane personality. Sean says, absolute clown. Smoky Cats, this dude high AF. Yo Holmes, Nick, I am a clown. Faria. Sour Diesel, this is madness. Rob, Faria is dumb. TWC saying you're not high on Mike Tomlin is wild. Rob V, how do people like this guy get jobs? Gator, Tomlin the best coach of the NFL. Pastor, I'm with Nick Faria on this one. Rick Kent, is there a full moon? Kai, sounding like a haterish now show. Sean says, Nick just doesn't want the Jets to be successful. Same old media.
Well, that's not true. I'd like to talk to players that are happy after wins.
Yeti wants to know, what are Nick's credentials? I would say you got the people fired up today, Nick.
Listen, that's perfectly fine, but it's not like I've been sitting here magically coming up and saying Mike Vrabel is not the fit. I've been talking about Brady and Monken and Ben Johnson and all these offensive minds over and saying you got to get the quarterback position right. And until they do, we are talking about the same thing. You mentioned, I think the first comment mentioned culture change. Well, you needed a culture change with Robert Saleh. You needed a culture change with Todd Bowles. You needed a culture change with Adam Gase. At some point, you need to recognize what you actually need. And
but you know what? They had the right quarterback in Darnold, and because they hired Adam Gase, they set him up for failure.
Are we sure? Again, Darnold is in the perfect situation for him right now. There is no denying it. That offense with those skill guys, are we absolutely certain if it was Mike McCarthy? So that back then it was between McCarthy and Adam Gase. Are we sure that McCarthy would have been able to come in and that would have been seamless? He would have absolutely excelled right away.
No, I'm not. But my point in bringing that up is that, like, you could have the quarterback and still suck. Like, Aaron Rodgers at times this year has played certainly well enough for this team to win, but because the coaching's deplorable, they can't win. You know what I'm saying? Like, to me, the head coach is still just as important as the quarterback. And I'm not discrediting Mike Vrabel because, you know, he hired two OCs that got poached. I'd rather have that problem than not, that this guy is so good at identifying offensive coordinators. Other teams want to hire them to be head coaches.
Sure. But again, when you have to rotate that in over and over again, that's how your coaching staff gets stale at the end of the day. That is how you become essentially thin overall in terms of offensive staff and offensive personnel.
This team has been so bad, though, Nick, that, like, I dreamed for the day the Jets have two OCs that actually got hired away because of how good they were with the offense of the Jets. You know what I mean? Like Mike Vrabel won 9 or more games in 4 of his 6 years. He was the 1 seed one year. They went to an AFC title game. Like, so I understand you saying he's not your top choice. I think where the chat went nuts is when you said you don't think he's a good fit for the Jets.
But again, that goes based on the premise of the fit right now is to fix the offense, to fix the quarterback position.
Fix the defense. The defense went from one of the best in the league to a joke.
And if you just again, but why was that the case? Why did they go from one of the best to a joke?
I think a combination of a few things. One, Joe Douglas and the decision-making with the defensive line. I think, two, fair. Unfortunately, injuries. The last 2 years, the Jets had the least amount of injuries defensively in the league. This year, they've been banged up. They lose Jermaine Johnson in week 2. C.J. Mosley has barely played this year. The secondary has been banged up. And then I think, 3, the just obvious collapse post-Robert Saleh being fired.
But again, I think 3 needs to be number 1. It was that defense was pretty solid at the beginning of the year. Not saying that it was still among the elite, but it was pretty solid. It was still a very good unit. The minute they fired Robert Saleh, Jeff Ulbrich had to come in and essentially do double duty. So you have a new head coach for the first time in his life working on the defense, but also trying to make sure the team is ready on Sundays. He completely was in over his head. I think that's been pretty clear to this point. They're 1-7 since that firing. He's been over his head, and the defense has struggled because of it. If the Jets were really serious about competing this year post Robert Saleh, I would essentially say, well, then maybe hire or bring in, promote whether it's Brant Boyer, whether it's Middleton, somebody else, and allow Ulbrich to continue to run the defense. Because the defense was well coached up until a certain point this season. Once they started losing their defensive leader, their defensive play caller, that's when everything started to struggle. So I think it's just a matter of you get a competent DC who's only focused on defense, and you're going to have that elite defense once again. I'm not worried about the defense next year because most of these guys are going to be returning. You're going to be able to reshuffle, add some extra pieces along the defensive line, whether it's with the top overall pick or not. And then just, again, hire a DC. Sauce Gardner should be able to bounce back after more development. Your linebackers are still really great. You still have Quinnen Williams. This is not the unit I'm worried about going into next year.
Ladies and gentlemen, people are fired up by Nick Faria's takes this morning. We will get to them, but we're doing our giveaway for the Sauce jersey in just a bit. All raffle entries are in the bucket. The next crop of 100 membership tickets is underway, and Arsenal Jets is in for 5 in our next raffle coming up. Let's go, Arsenal.
It's the Asmaniac membership raffle. For every membership gifted, you receive 1 ticket entered in the raffle to win epic prizes.
This is the only show today, so make sure if you want your entries accounted for, you submit a membership during the show or a $20 or more super chat. For every $20 super chat, that's 5 entries in the raffle giveaway as well. Wilfredo Garcia, The Real Beats, Jeff Johnson, Illuminati 187, and J.A. all receiving channel memberships. Arsenal Jets, shout out to you. I hope Arsenal wins this weekend, assuming they're playing, but I don't know anything about soccer. All right, Sour Diesel writes in, I'm sorry, dude. You lost all credibility with that Tomlin take. Time to retire. Nick, will you be retiring after the show?
Man, retiring at 27 years old, that's fantastic if that would be the case. But listen, he hasn't won a playoff game in decades. And for the Pittsburgh Steelers,
decades.
Again, I've heard this team because I grew up in a Steelers household. That franchise is all about championships. And the day it went from championships to, well, at least they finish over 500, that is a huge, huge disappointment from where Pittsburgh once was.
Brandon says, I love how Jake only reads the comments that defend him and bash Nick. That's not true. I just read Pastor's comment before, and he's got another one here. I'm with Nick Faria on this one. I read all comments here, including this one from Peter Castro. And he has a job? Anyway, more super chats here. This one is from Sean. He's been at Asmaniac for 7 months. Bottom line is Jets need to win games. Vrabel wins games. He's right. You're going to criticize the Jets if they hire Mike Vrabel?
No. But again, it's my idea of how you build proper franchises. You get the quarterback right. How do you get the quarterback right? You bring in and develop behind a strong offensive-minded coaching staff. You've seen it with a lot of different teams. The Kansas City Chiefs did it.
But doesn't Sirianni not call the plays in Philadelphia, and they fell apart last year because his coordinators got poached? So isn't it about hiring the right coordinators? You're an Eagles guy.
But here's the other thing with Sirianni that people forget. He was an offensive-minded guy. He knew and helped develop quarterbacks, albeit not the greatest in Indianapolis, but he comes in with his offensive system, and it was the same OC for 2-3 years before they had to poach. The minute it happened, they struggled. Now they're bringing in more competency overall on offense, and the team looks a lot better. So with Sirianni, offensive-minded guy. Philadelphia's had this model for a very long time. Offensive-minded young guys who you allow to develop with the team, whether they choose to call plays or not is irrelevant because they know how to develop quarterbacks at the end of the day.
Mike writes in, off the rails with that Tomlin take. Dude is a winner.
Great. We'll see it this year in the playoffs. Let's see if he wins in the playoffs this year. He's got the team.
I didn't have the beat has soured Nick Faria in my 1 year on my bingo card. The beat has corrupted you. You're spending too much time with Dick Chimney and company.
Again, this isn't me saying they're in a bad situation. I'm telling you, this is an attractive job. I've been saying it now for months. I've also been saying for months that Vrabel's probably not the guy that I would choose. I would go for Joe Brady. I would go for Monken over someone like him who's got more of a defensive background overall.
When you say Monken, are you referring to the monkey guy in Baltimore?
Yes.
We got to get rid of Yolbrick and then go after Gabriel first. Then I want Queensberry. Got to look at the monkey guy. I like Flo Knees, and maybe Slow Dick in Houston is the answer.
Your thoughts on Slow Dick in Houston?
He's another one, though. I think he's done really good work with C.J. Stroud.
You don't want Bobby Slowick, I'm telling you.
I mean, you have an interview. He's not my top choice. My top two. I've been saying it now because people keep asking in the chat, what are your choices then? Joe Brady, Todd Monken. Those are my top two.
The monkey guy. All right. Rick Kent with a super chat here. I already read that one. My bad. R&R says, Faria taking big swings and missing badly. Yeah, you're Juan Soto.
Call me Juan Soto, baby. Call me Juan Soto. It's all good.
Man, Juan Soto got a little fat. I'd be worried if I'm a Met fan like you, man. That guy, I mean, he looked like he put on some pounds since the offseason began. I'm just saying.
He's going to be great. I have full confidence.
Ryan with an Asmaniac super chat. So we just ignored that Carter and Downing were both Vrabel hires in Tennessee. He also fired those guys. And Downing wasn't – I don't think Todd Downing's been that bad.
No, I don't either.
So, Carter's Carter's bad. I agree. He should have been fired last year. But Vrabel fired him. And then, of course, Saleh hired him. So, yeah, that doesn't really concern me. Vrabel's track record is that he could hire a good staff. He's done it multiple times.
Sure. I just whenever I'm looking at head coaches, I prefer the ones that have the offensive background. That's just my go-to.
Ladies and gentlemen, Mike is in our next raffle with 5 channel memberships.
It's the Asmaniac membership raffle. For every membership gifted, you receive 1 ticket entered in the raffle to win epic prizes.
Justin C., Joe Dubb, Adrian Flores, Dana Russell, Pastor Carlos Reyes, all receiving channel memberships. We're up to 10 so far during the show. That means we need 90 more for our next raffle. After later this show, we do the most recent one with the sauce jersey here. Bo with a super chat. Nick, I respect most of your takes. You lost me when you said our defense was solid at the beginning. We started soft, and Tomlin is the guy. Sorry.
No, objectively, they were pretty good at the beginning of the year. They lost the game 13-8 or whatever. 10-9. That's not the defense's fault. You know, they had a pick 6 in the game against Minnesota in a game that you should have won. The offense has been a problem, and it's been inconsistent all season. I prefer to look at it and say, listen, you've got a lot of strong defensive players. You can bring in a new defensive guy who can develop and help Sauce Gardner in his development without having to sacrifice your offensive staff in a way. So, again, it's not to say that the defense was bad. It was just, listen, the minute Saleh left, it absolutely collapsed because you didn't have the strong defensive background, and Ulbrich was in over his head.
Einstein writes in, Nick, you tend to be sane, but I think whatever you smoked was laced. So, all right, Nick, be honest with us. What the hell did you smoke this morning?
I smoked absolutely nothing. I'm starving. I'm starving. I didn't eat breakfast today. But
No. You're starving because you have the munchies from whatever you smoked.
I'll probably go to Applebee's before a broadcast today.
Oh. So I haven't been to Applebee's during the daytime in a very long time. Applebee's to me
is my go-to place. I love that place, man.
Half price apps after 5 or after 10. I mean,
there's also some that do haps during the day at the bar, which is I absolutely love. So that's where I'm going.
Ladies and gentlemen, Dre is in our next raffle giveaway for 5, baby. Dre, this is for you.
Money. We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
LX JetFan XL, Benny Baboon, Georgie, and Jorge Moreno, all receiving channel memberships. I love it. Nick, I'm going to play you something back to back. This is why the Jets need a coach like Mike Vrabel. This is why he's my number 1. First, here's the current coach of the Jets being asked a question about Hassan Reddick, who, objectively speaking, has sucked this season.
Yeah, with Hassan, I mean, obviously this is not the production anyone anticipated from him. Looking back, having the benefit of hindsight, do you think it was just such a long layoff for him that it was almost impossible for him to be the player he was?
You know, you might say that had I, put on the tape and I saw a guy that looked rusty or slow or not explosive, but everything that we thought we were getting with him, everything that we had seen on tape that made us pursue him as hard as we did, has showed up. It's just, it's been a byproduct of a lot of things. Maybe, just still getting familiar with what we do, so I don't think it's a physical thing so much. And then the ops, like for pass rushers to get production, you need to have substantial leads, and you need to have leads throughout the game so that you can really let your rushers go. And we haven't had enough of those opportunities for him and for our entire D-line for that matter.
I mean, I destroyed this guy yesterday for those comments. But okay, that's the current coach talking about the Jets, the country club environment. It's okay, man. We're going to coddle you. We're going to love you. We're not going to hold anyone accountable. And here's the guy who the Jets need to hire immediately.
Because it sucks to lose, Gentry.
Trey, ever need to show you anything?
Did you have another thought, or no? I'm just curious.
Well,
it fucking sucks. Losing. Awful. That's why I want to win. Because you don't sleep. You want to win for the players that bust their tail. That's it.
I want the guy who said he'd chop off his manhood to win a Super Bowl. That's the guy I want. All right, Nick?
Again, listen, I'm not saying it would be a bad hire. I just don't think it's the right overall fit for what they need. And what they need is to figure out this quarterback position, figure out this offense. And again, this is based off of my understanding and how certain teams do this. This is how teams like Philadelphia, teams like Kansas City, San Francisco, they look for the offensive guys because they know how important the quarterback position is to get right. There are other teams that look and say, hey, we want culture guys first. We'll figure everything out after. Works for them. It works for other teams. I've been around the team that has the offensive-minded guys over and over again, and it's worked out plenty fine for them.
Ladies and gentlemen, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. Rick Kent is in the membership raffle for 5, baby.
Thinking is overrated.
That's why he just gifted memberships, even though Rick Kent doesn't appear to be the biggest fan right now of Nick Faria. How do I know this? Because Rick just wrote, I can't get behind anyone who eats at Applebee's. Now, here's who got Rick's memberships. JJ, the Jet Plane, Oscar, the Grouch, Juno, Rudy, Siebel, and Doan's Syndrome, all receiving channel memberships. Let's go. We also have this from Peter Castro, who's in the raffle now for 5. Put Nick in the hall. Castro, I'll tell you what. You send us another 499 super chat asking about Alan Lazard. I will put Nick Faria in the hall. But Castro, you are in the raffle for another 5. Thank you, my man. We'll give you a jet chant. All right. This one is from Georgie. Wait, this guy's 27? Jesus. I don't understand the balloon emoji usage, but it's in there.
Thank you. Yes, I know I look a lot older. It's the fatness and balding. It happens. Happens. I was homeless for a little bit in college. It happens. Stress, you got to deal with it.
Ryan writes in, just because he fired those guys doesn't change the fact he hired them. And Downing isn't bad compared to Watt Hackett. I don't think Downing's been that bad. I think he's been probably about average. He's been fine.
I completely agree. I don't think the offense's problems this year have nothing to do. Well, I wouldn't say nothing, but it's not Downing per se. It's Rodgers not being the same quarterback. It's the offensive line sometimes not blocking when they need to. It's the receivers making mistakes. It's a full collection of things that has forced this offense to struggle. I wouldn't put Downing as the top guy.
V-Man in our next raffle giveaway, baby. Boom. He's gifted a channel membership. Wrong Verb is the recipient of the membership from V-Man 29397. Gator McCluskey with a 9-month as Maniac Super Chat. Question, do we have a better season this year with a top 10 offense or a top 10 defense plus kicker?
Well, I would argue this. If you had a top 10 offense, do you beat Denver? I would say that's pretty easy to say, yes. And if they beat Denver and they were, 4-2 at that time, 3-1, whatever it was, I think you're looking at Robert Saleh still being the head coach, which means by and large the defense would still be really good. So yes, a top 10 offense would have helped this team out a lot.
John writes in, Faria, it's the job of the OC and quarterback coach to develop a quarterback. Brady runs the ball and burns a timeout to cost Buffalo a chance versus the Rams. No, thank you.
Well, Sean McDermott actually was the one who said it was his decision to run the quarterback sneak and not Joe Brady. So I wrote an article about it. I was forced to write an article about it. I saw it. I saw what McDermott said. He was the one that actually took that timeout and told the coaches to run the quarterback sneak. So, sorry, not buying it. He's a good OC. He's developed quarterbacks. He's won at every level. I think he'll be a great head coach.
D-Rock writes in, Jake, why the F would you want to win versus the Jags? Have you not learned anything? And you still call Gardner Sauce. You're unbelievable. Yeah, I'm going to still call him Sauce Gardner. Calm down, D-Rock, all right?
Well, come on. Every coverage metric shows that he's had a very good season. Is it the same elite season he had his first 2 years? Of course not, but that doesn't mean he's a bad player.
Also, why would I want to win? Because I've seen the Jets have a top pick and blow it. I've seen them win games late and pick somewhere and end up with a good player. Me rooting has no impact. None. So whatever happens, happens. If they lose, I won't be that mad. If they win, I'm not going to sit here and be like, how could they win? Chances are they're going to win another game this year, and this was most likely the game. So I would say calm down, D-Rock, all right? Get your panties out of a bunch. And
everyone's
relax.
so angry.
You should see my show the last couple of days, man. It's been World War III around here.
So it's not just me then. All right, I want to make sure.
V-Man with a super chat. Vrabel's the type of head coach who could stabilize the New York Jets.
We said that about Saleh. We said that about Rex. We said that about all these different guys.
Yeah, but Vrabel has actually done it. These other guys are inexperienced novices learning on the job in the biggest media market. Bill Parcells came in and took over a one-win team in 1997, and they went 9-7, and the next year 12-4 in the championship game. You need someone with pelts on the wall who's done it before, rather than rolling the dice on someone you hope could be a good coach. How about bringing someone you already know is a good coach?
But here's the thing. You mentioned Parcells. I think that's what every Jets fan is looking at. It's the Parcells model. It's we must bring in a guy that's done it before because it worked with Parcells and nobody else. But instead of recognizing, hey, there are different ways of doing this. If we hired these defensive guys over and over again, maybe we should try it the other way. That's kind of everyone's chasing what Parcells was, and there's no denying the absolute formational shift he did for the New York Jets in the late 90s. But there are other ways to do it. This game has changed. The mantra of how to win in football nowadays has completely been altered. You need to develop quarterbacks. You need to get the offense right. And if you don't have either, then you need a guy who understands how to do it.
Ladies and gentlemen, a super chat from Bo. Chance to save face, Nick. Vrabel hired Rodgers our bridge. Milroe attained in the draft. First game in 2025. Rodgers 2 picks. What's the choice for game 2? They're not benching Aaron Rodgers off of one game.
No, Again, I want to make something very, very clear. This is not to say that Mike Vrabel is a bad coach or the Jets would be foolish to hire him. I'm just saying, based on my personal preference, based on what I've seen for NFL teams, I don't think he's the right fit for what this team absolutely needs for next season, for the future of this franchise. They need someone who can get this offense right.
Ladies and gentlemen, the super chats are just flying off the shelves today. I mean, Nick Faria has fired up the people. Rex has more AFC Championship game appearances than Vrabel. Yeah, Rex also hasn't coached the Jets since 2014 and hasn't coached the NFL.
Rex Ryan. You hire Rex Ryan. See how that goes.
I mean, Rex, I love Rex, but he hasn't coached in a while. Vrabel's still in the league. He's still coaching this year. He's still part of an organization. He coached last season. Like, it's not even comparable. Also, Rex has 2 seasons with a winning record. Mike Vrabel has 4 in 6 years. Rex was a coach for the Jets for 6 years, and 2 of them were winning seasons. There was an 8-8, 2 8-8s thrown in there, too. Chitty writes in, we've just had Adam Gase. That didn't work. Offensive head coach is just as much of a dice roll. We need a leader and a culture changer above all.
I think with the Adam Gase thing that people kind of forget is he was pretty bad in Miami, and he didn't have any experience there developing quarterbacks either. He worked with Peyton Manning, and that's how he got to his job with both Miami and New York. You need a guy that actually knows how to develop and succeed with younger quarterbacks. Brady and Monken have done it.
Mike says Vrabel's a bad coach, and the Jets would be foolish to hire him. Faria.
That's completely the opposite of what I just said.
Pastor writes in, I'm with Nick Faria on this one. Ladies and gentlemen, Nick's got to go, but this guy wants in on the conversation. So the Gustbuster hotline is open for one call today. Philly Noodles, what do you got?
Nick, all right. I'm with you in my mind where we need to move forward, right, into the new generation of football, offensive-minded. I then I put in a question. Separate question. Last night's game was 12-9. How do you describe those two predominantly offensive-minded coaches having to go to lose by 3 points versus the Denver Broncos game losing by 1? It happens, bro. That's you got to put that aside.
Sure.
I think that has to be put aside. So my question to you, beside that, and next is two-part, is who's your quarterback? If we're saying offensive-minded with Monken or Brady, listen. I want to be with you in that camp, but who is the QB? This is where if Vrabel comes in, it don't matter who the QB is, he wins. So go ahead.
So it's a great question. Ultimately, that would be up to them in their decision making. If they wanted to bring back Rodgers, I think you allow them to do that. So I think most cases they're drafting a quarterback if they hire an offensive-minded guy. If it's Monken, if it's Joe Brady, whether it's Drew Aller, whether it's Milroe, whoever it is, they're drafting a quarterback. So in that essence, it doesn't really matter who the bridge guy is as long as they're developing this young kid. Throw out, get as many wins as you possibly can, but it's not the be-all, end-all right away because you're developing that quarterback for the future.
So then, in right after answering that question like that, is saying, okay, so then let's say it is Rodgers. That's a $63 million bridge. So if I'm saying to myself, he's a bridge, I need a win then. I need wins then. So if Vrabel can come in, bring the friendship and say, dude, we got to come out here. We have to win now because we're bringing you back. It doesn't matter who you get in draft almost in a sense, because as an offensive coach, if you come in as a head coach, you want since we don't have a Daniels, we don't have a Caleb Williams, we don't have a Nix, we don't have none of these guys in this draft. As a head coach who's an offensive coordinator who gets hired here, I don't want to pick from that crop. So my thing is, it might even be too early to bring in a head coach in that type of mind state with this draft coming out. It kind of really it sours it a little bit. You know what I'm saying? I think.
I get it. It worked out with the Green Bay Packers when they hired Matt LaFleur to pair with Aaron Rodgers and then draft a quarterback in the first round. It worked.
Well, he sat for 4 years, bro. That's different. We're talking about a guy to sit for 1 year.
But we're talking about, okay, Aaron Rodgers with the new offensive-minded guy. You bring in Aaron Rodgers with that guy that sort of brings him into the modern world of offenses. Can this group be a lot better? I certainly think so on the offensive end. You have that development for at least another year. This group looks a lot different if that's the case. If the Packers were able to do it with LaFleur and all these other teams are hiring offensive-minded guys because they understand they have to get the quarterback position right, there's some merit to this.
Man, I put it to ourselves this way as a Jets fandom. We need a guy who's going to go into that media room and do what Vrabel just did in that little excerpt he had, where he curses the guy and says, "Bro, I want to."
What is that going to do, though? What does that do?
What does that do? No, it gives your team a sense of like, this guy is saying, "F you. We're going to do what we got to do." We had a guy like that in Rex Ryan, and we went to 2 AFC championships. This is basically getting Rex Ryan 2.0 on a better stature, because beforehand he had won in 4 seasons versus Rex in only 2. I think Vrabel he ultimately knows. I think he's the best fit. Like, coming this offseason, he has that in his head. He has to, because all this stuff coming out about him, all these things coming out about Rodgers, someone's telling me it's spelling that way. Because if we go ahead and get an Aaron Glenn, first time DC, you're risking it. You go get an OC, first time OC.
I see a comment here that I actually agree with. So you're saying you want a coach that's going to take it to the media, take it to all of us and say, we're not going to stand by this anymore. What does that do? What does that do?
No. It's just bringing back. It's bringing back the camaraderie in the locker room that you've been.
They had that with Saleh. The camaraderie, the locker room was solid under Saleh.
He brought a culture change, but we need someone to get rid of the stink and bring a culture change. Vrabel's going to come in here, get rid of stink, and he's going to give you a culture change. His name alone is bringing away the stink, right? It's saying, I'm bringing in a guy who's won before. Saleh never won before. He was like that. He was that hot, sexy pick where they're like, "Ooh, he's that new guy coming out of there." You had to hold him back off the offense, off the line, because he wanted to go in the game and tackle people. We didn't even get that. First off, we got like the soft porn version of that. He was like, "Oh, guys, I love you guys. We'll figure it out. Don't worry about it. Next season, we'll figure it out." Zach's not the problem. Remember that? He had that a couple times. That was crazy. That he said Zach wasn't the problem a couple times. You know what I mean?
But again, this isn't me saying, and I want to make this clear again, because there's so many people that I think are misconstruing what I'm saying. This isn't saying that Mike Vrabel would not be a good hire. I just think that in the modern NFL, you've got to get the quarterback right. Some comment here said that why is it the head coach's job to develop the quarterback? It's not just the head coach's job. It's the organization's job to develop the quarterback. It's the most important position. So if that's the number one role, that's the number one spot, then you need to surround him with everything. A quarterback, a head coach that has experience being a quarterback or calling plays, an offensive coordinator who's worked with quarterbacks before, a quarterback coach who's played the position before. Everything has to be spot on to develop this quarterback.
Then I feel like he can bring in somebody. It's not like he's failed at that. Vrabel has, like, if you were like to check the boxes, right? Like what Spielman and them are doing. Vrabel's probably checking off so many boxes. It's unimaginable right now. We're not there, but it's probably like, oh well, he's won before. He's got a positive, a record. Over
but why is a veteran coach needed in this case?
Because
you absolutely need someone who's done it before.
Why?
Higher percentage of it working if you hire someone that you know has already had success. I think that's why. Like Andy Reid was a no-brainer hire by Kansas City when he became available.
Sure, but his first hire with Philadelphia wasn't.
Sean Payton. Look what he's now doing with Denver. Jim Harbaugh in 1 year has already turned around the Chargers. Like you have, it doesn't always work, but you have a higher percentage of it working when you bring in someone that's already had success in that job before. Plus, I think being the head coach in New York is different than being the head coach elsewhere with the pressure from the media and the fans and the scrutiny and everything going on with this team the last 14 years, missing the playoffs. I just think your percentages of turning it around are higher with someone who's already had success in that role.
I think
Nick, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Nick. I'm sorry.
No, but I look at it and say, okay, for every Andy Reid in Kansas City, for every Sean Payton, you've got the McVay, the Shanahan, the Andy Reid in Philadelphia, where he was a assistant offensive guy. He wasn't even calling plays before Philadelphia gave him a shot. You have so many other different examples. Matt LaFleur in Green Bay, who just walked in. Kevin O'Connell, who's done a really good job coming off. He didn't have a lot of experience calling plays. If you are all about winning in this NFL level, the long-term longevity of your team has to be centered around the offense. It just has to now. It's the modern league.
I think you are correct, but what happened is if we would have got rid of Saleh last season, we could have been maybe talking about drafting QBs that came out of this class. Just happened.
So, completely different conversation here.
But that's the truth. But that's the truth because right now, out of this crop, what offensive – if you go and poll all the offensive coordinators and coaches right now and head coaches, hey, who do you think they should do this? The Jets should do this every season. Who do you think is a good pick coming out of this class? The top two guys. Well, we don't have that pick. There's nothing else.
No, but again, Philly, I'm not arguing that. I'm not arguing that at all. If that's the case and you were thinking about offensive mind, then you should have fired Robert Saleh and Joe Douglas. Clearly,
they didn't.
But clearly the reports have come out that said Woody Johnson didn't trust him. And if Woody Johnson didn't trust him then, why did they trust him to draft another pick, to essentially waste the 10th overall pick? And I'm still high on Olu Fashanu. They got their left tackle of the future. To me, if I'm looking at where this team needs to go, it's about the quarterback position. And it's always going to be about the quarterback position.
One last super chat here, Nick, because I know you're up against it. Big fella. So, Nick, you think Vrabel isn't a modern coach, but you think Rodgers is a modern quarterback? That makes zero sense.
That's not what I'm saying at all. That's not what I'm saying at all. What I'm saying is Rodgers is an archaic quarterback. You need an offensive system like he had towards the end of Green Bay where it meshed the old-timer pocket passer with the modern movements of pre-snap motion, post-snap motion, showing a defense one thing and then going with a completely different other piece. The LaFleur example in Green Bay is what you should be doing if you're looking to have Aaron Rodgers come back.
Ladies and gentlemen, Nick Faria firing up the chat, firing up the Asmaniacs. And if you thought Gary or Alan or JJ, if you thought they had the ability to do that, Nick Faria is like, watch this. Nick, I appreciate you hopping on as always, man. Have a good weekend. I'll talk to you soon.
Thank you.
Nick Faria, Jet reporter, Athlon Sports. It is Weekly Spot. Hit the like button if you're just in. Subscribe to the channel if you're one of the 500 people that are watching live right now. We talk Jets every day. There's no channel in the universe that puts out more daily Jet content than this one. Yesterday, I think there was 5.5 hours of content, or 2 days ago. So appreciate everyone who supports the show. If you want to support me, join the Patreon. Patreon.com/Jake Asman Show. It includes access to the Discord. You get your name in the intro, discounts on merch items, and listener events, and much more year-round. Bonus shows. Patreon.com/Jake Asman Show. Here for the meme says, until Woody sells, we're doomed. He's not selling. So I don't subscribe to they can't win with him. Because people said that about James Dolan, and that's just not true. You got to hire the right people. Kyle Clifton with a super chat. Marry the GM and head coach that can work together, whether it's Gain and Brady, Kokinis Munkin, Agnew Johnson, Spy Tech Cohen, or Vrabel and a personnel guy of choice. Yeah, I mean, you want the GM and coach to be on the same page. I agree. One name that could work for Vrabel is Brian Gain. He's the assistant general manager of the Bills, but he was the director of pro personnel in Houston when Vrabel was on the coaching staff there under Bill O'Brien. He was a GM for a year and got railroaded by Bill O'Brien in a power struggle. So he has experience, but he really doesn't have enough of a resume to know if he's good or bad. Bills immediately brought him back. Brian Gain, Parcells guy from the Jets, was a scout with the organization. Brian Gain and Mike Vrabel. It's possible. Big fella. That makes 0 sense too. Rodgers can't move. For the record, I think Nick is out of his mind with the Vrabel criticism. I mean, the idea you wouldn't hire Mike Vrabel. Are you kidding me? You want to try another first-timey coach over a guy who's won 9 or more games in 4 of his 6 years, was a 1 seed one year with Ryan Tannehill as his quarterback, was in a championship game a different year with that quarterback, beat Brady and Belichick in their last ever game together on the road, beat Lamar Jackson in the playoffs, went toe-to-toe with Mahomes. That's the guy I want. A guy that wants to win so badly. He said he'd chop off his manhood to do so.
Because it sucks to lose, Gentry.
Trey, ever need to show you anything?
Did you have another thought, or no? I'm just curious.
Well,
it fucking sucks. Losing. Awful. That's why I want to win. Because you don't sleep. You want to win for the players that bust their tail. That's it.
That's what I want. That's what I want.
Love you. Goodbye. Oh, Jake, I'm sorry. I didn't know I had you on.
We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
It's time for the raffle giveaway. Hit the music.
It's the Asmaniac Membership Raffle. For every membership gifted, you receive 1 ticket entered in the raffle to win epic prizes.
Right here, baby. The Sauce Gardner military-themed jersey is ready to roll. Second place prize. The Joe Namath item. The photo here. It's protected. You just got to get a frame for it, and it will look good in the man cave for anyone who wins this. Or do we call it the women cave if it's a female Jet fan? I don't know. I don't know how that works. But you get the point. Whoever wins. You got that going. And then third place will be an item from the Jake Asman merch store. Here we go. Let me give you guys an idea. We had 112 total entries in this one, because the memberships just flew off the shelves yesterday. So I'm going to pick a winner here. We'll find out who's going to get the Sauce Gardner jersey. Ladies and gentlemen, the winner of the Sauce jersey is, I mean, he deserved to win it. He had a record 50 entries in. The big fella. I mean, we can't say he didn't deserve it if anyone saw yesterday's show. Big fella, I will be sending this out to you. It's well deserved. Big fella, for those who don't know, he did one of the most incredible things I've ever seen someone do for someone else. He bought Bobby Midnight his own walking pad to assist him with the weight loss journey Bobby's on. So, big fella, this is well deserved, man. I will send this out to you. You got it. All right, let's do second place now. Second place in the raffle is listener Felix Campos. Hey, now Felix won the Braylon Allen jersey, but he didn't want it. So he said donate it to a listener of your choice. So I donated it to Bobby Midnight because we all know Bobby loves Braylon Allen. So, Felix, I don't care what you say. You're getting the name of the picture sent to you this time, man. So I love it. All right, we'll do one more. Ladies and gentlemen, here we go. An item from the Jake Asman merch store. Let's give it to listener Chef Kev. Hey, Chef Kevin is the winner of the item from the merch store. So congrats to Chef Kevin, Felix, and the big fella on their wins. We will do another raffle once we hit 100 memberships. We are currently at, for those curious, 21. Nope. More are coming in. 26 we're now up to. Why? Mike is in for another 5 channel memberships, baby. Let's go.
It's the Asmaniac membership raffle. For every membership gifted, you receive 1 ticket entered in the raffle to win epic prizes.
Love it. All right. There we go. One of the prizes will be the Rodgers throwback jersey here. So you can pretend like times were good. But we'll have some other ones in there. Items in the merch store. I got some other merch that I'm waiting to get in here. So I'll announce that when we get it. But we'll continue to do these raffles all month long. Season of giving. So, Mike, thank you very much. Your 5 memberships went to, let's see, Mongo Horse Punch, Eric Losi, Nitty, Gary Papa, Motivational Means Media. Congrats to everyone who just got a channel membership. We're up to 26. That means we need 74 more memberships, and we'll do another raffle as soon as we hit that threshold. All right. Comments, questions, super chats. We'll cut the line. We'll take your calls right now. Kyle Clifton's first up today. What's up, Kyle?
What's going on, Jake? That was good information about Brian Gaine having shared time with Vrabel in Houston. I wasn't aware of that. I was kind of looking around trying to find a personnel guy around the league that he might have some common something in common with, and I was having a tough time. Boyd Green was saying this morning that his time with John Robinson in Tennessee didn't end too well. I think they had a disagreement about A.J. Brown. But, I mean, Vrabel, ostensibly, he's the top candidate, right? That's the guy that you really want to see if you can get comfortable with a GM, someone who can kind of share his vision and bring in those types of players. But, like I was saying in my super chat, and I just mentioned the offensive guys because I think that's probably going to be our focus. But that doesn't exclude that, someone like an Aaron Glenn and an Agnew or, a Dorsey or whoever, or, someone from like the San Francisco front office and their defensive coordinator, if he were to become, onto people's radar, would be considered. I just want to get a good football person who can help upgrade our program, bring our defense, if it's a defensive guy, back to where it was. If it's an offensive guy, help us develop a quarterback, realizing that it might be a bridge quarterback this year, and we might not be able to go out and get one in the draft until next year.
Agreed. And you know what helps any organization? Winning.
Yes.
So even if you don't have your long-term quarterback next year, you can't tell me a team that hasn't had a winning season in a decade wouldn't find value in going 9-8 next year and having a winning year and competing for a playoff spot. You want to change the culture. I believe you could only change the culture by winning. So bringing in a guy who's won, just bringing a guy who knows how to win is good for everyone as they try and figure out how to find the quarterback long term. I bring up the Bills, right? Sean McDermott got there. They didn't have Josh Allen right away. They had Tyrod. They made the playoffs. Now, they didn't win, but they made the playoffs. He proved he could coach. And then as they kept building, they then got the quarterback and got it right. There's a lot of ways to do it, but at the end of the day, the only thing that truly matters is winning. And this team hasn't had a winning season in a decade. So the idea that there's no value in bringing in a guy who you can go 9-8 with next year, I don't see it. Bring in the guy who's best equipped to help you win as many games as possible.
And I think we're closer than people think because of the close games that we played, because of the issues that we had in the kicking game, because of the issues that, regression of the special teams. This is all stuff that could turn around very, very quickly if we can get some competent quarterback play in there.
I agree with you.
I appreciate it, man.
Ladies and gentlemen, Kyle Clifton checking in from his esteemed living room. Rob Basil writes in, we deserve better as Jet fans. Can't wait to see what a new GM and coach builds. Love all the content, Jake. Let's go, Jets. Let's go, baby.
You know, thinking is overrated.
So is winning, but at least we have this show and we have the Asmaniacs, baby. That's what it's all about. Hit the like button if you haven't. Comments, questions, super chats were presented today by my guy, Joe DeVizio, and his team. If you're thinking about selling your home, sellwithjoe.com right now. All right. If you're in the tri-state, sellwithjoe.com. They do everything. Call Joe today, 959. Call Joe. Sellwithjoe.com. Any question about the process to sell your home or anything really going on with your home, Joe and his team can handle it. Sellwithjoe.com. 959. Call Joe. All right, more of your calls right now. Ladies and gentlemen, let's say hello to our good friend, the butter eater himself.
Oh no!
Oh no! I fell on my fat ass.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
How you doing today, Jake?
I'm good, Bobby. How are you?
Why are you friend having a wedding on Friday? Is it because it's cheap on Friday because weekends are more expensive? Is that
I don't know the details, but I'd imagine it is cheaper to do a wedding on Friday than Saturday.
Yeah, during the weekdays because I heard that. Yeah. So
Yeah.
where is this wedding at?
It's in New Jersey.
You gotta be the best man.
I am not the best man.
Are you an usher?
No.
Okay. Well, I hope you enjoyed the wedding today.
Thank you.
Well, you know what else are we gonna talk about? The Jets? Okay.
Yeah. We can talk
wanna-
about your diet. Also, what's up with you and J-Quest? Why are you going after J-Quest?
Oh no, we already squashed that. I really apologize to him.
Okay. So there's no issues?
No, they're done.
All right.
Look in the chat. It says he's forgave me.
All right.
So, because the other day on my show, I said I was mad at him because he complimented me, and then I said his wife's probably like beating him up right now. And
You went after his wife? You can't go after a man's wife.
no, I said his wife was beating him up because he didn't do his laundry and cook it.
Why are you bringing up his wife anyway?
That's what he got mad at.
Right. I understand why he's mad.
So I apologized, and he said he forgave me. He was
Okay.
having a bad day.
I just don't want any beef.
No beef. No beef.
All right. The only
All
beef
right.
I want is the beef you're eating instead of just eating butter sticks.
Yeah, I'm having turkey today, though. No beef. Yesterday was the beef. Today's the turkey with butter.
Good. You got to just keep eating healthy foods, Bob, and drinking water, and go for a walk today. All right. Get off
Yeah,
your fat ass and go for a walk.
Yeah, it's nice out there today. It's not
Yeah.
nice. Yeah.
You know, go for a walk for around the neighborhood.
Yeah, I will.
All right. Good.
Rob V sent me this thing from my telephone so I could do it on air by a walk.
What did he send you?
Like a thing for your phone on top of the phone. I think you put it.
A thing for your phone on top of the phone. That's very descriptive.
You put it in your earplug and you could talk to people while you walk.
He sent you headphones?
Yeah, headphones. Yeah, headphones. So I want Vrabel as a head coach. I agree with you 100%.
Do you?
Yeah, I agree with that.
Okay.
Okay, what is this guy? He's a Jet reporter, but he loves the stinky, smelly Eagles. Why
He grew up an Eagles fan, but he covers
Well, that's
the
his
Jets.
fault. Oh, I feel bad for that guy. Ooh, we won 2 Super Bowls. 1 Super Bowl. Ooh.
Woo!
Ooh, big deal. Let's have a party and 1 Super Bowl. Big deal. Giants won 4, so you have to beat us now. So no, I think they should get that. And then, like you said, Woody's not going to sell the team. Like you said, he won't sell the team. And then GM is up to the 33 people, right? 33.
The 33rd team?
33rd team, yeah. Well,
Yeah,
at least got the number right. No,
Ryan writes in, Bobby Midnight for new GM if he doesn't hire Vrabel.
Oh, I'll hire Vrabel. Definitely.
How do you feel about the monkey guy down with the Ravens?
Well, first I thought it was his cousin from Army. Right, that's Tom Monken, right?
Mm-hmm.
Who's
Jeff
the guy
Monken.
on Army?
Jeff.
He's playing tomorrow. Jeff Monken. Yeah, he's good. Army plays Navy tomorrow. Let's go, Army. And then, yeah, so tomorrow you have a show, right?
Oh, yeah.
Who's going to be your guest? Do we know him?
I don't think I want to reveal that information to you.
Why not?
Yes, you might stalk him.
I'm not going to stalk
You might
him.
you might show up at his home, and he might not like that.
Oh, Nick Shine.
I didn't say who it was. Why are you throwing Nick Shine's name out there?
Well, usually you ask him to come on Saturday.
That's not true. Last Saturday I had the Buffalo Jeff in on.
All right, maybe it's him again.
It's a mystery. I don't think we know.
You know who it is.
No, I don't. I don't know who it is. It hasn't been determined yet.
But I hope you have a good wedding then.
Thank you, Bobby. I hope you have a good day. Make sure you go for a walk today, all right?
Yes. Is this your family member?
It's my cousin.
Oh, okay. So family member. Okay.
Yes. Yes.
So
That is what a cousin is.
So tell him I hope he has a great wedding, has a great what's it called? Honeymoon. Where are they going for honeymoon, you know?
I don't know. You're asking a lot of questions today.
Well, I like to talk about weddings. It's a fun time.
When was the last wedding you were at?
My own.
Really?
Yeah.
Where'd you get married?
In the church.
Yeah, where was the church located?
In New York.
In the Bronx?
Yeah.
Was it? Nice.
Yeah.
You still have your wedding tuxedo?
No, I don't fit in that anymore. Forget it. I'm working down towards it.
Mm-hmm.
Remember, I told you I was 366 at one time.
Yeah, you're losing the pounds.
Yeah, especially with the walking pad.
Now, some have speculated you're going to rig the weight loss results because you know how much money's on the line. I said Bobby has integrity.
No, I did mistakenly rig it. It was 287, I said. But it was 281. That's what Tom said, yeah.
Bill wants to know, did you wear white on your wedding day?
No, I did not wear white. No.
Tom A says, always rent the tux.
Yeah, I did rent it, I think. Didn't buy it.
I see.
Yeah. All right, so you have a great wedding. Tell everybody have a party.
Yeah, I'm getting married.
No, you're not getting married. Your cousin is.
Yeah, but you just said have a great wedding, so that insinuates that it's my wedding.
You have a good time at the wedding.
Okay.
Okay, enjoy, everybody.
All right, you have a good day.
Yeah, I'm going to start working very shortly. Then I have two shows. One show, one long show today. Like 1 to 6. That would be good.
Wow, a 5-hour soiree?
Yeah, well, I don't want to take a break between them. That doesn't make sense.
I see. All right, well, you have a wonderful evening.
Okay, you too.
Bob, you did great. Let's go.
Still coming out.
How is it still coming out? It's been 5 minutes.
Oh, well. And the pepper.
What a call. Fiore with a super chat. Joined late, just watched Nick. Wow, what would our record be if Vrabel was the head coach? According to him, Vrabel's just coaching the XFL, not the NFL. Yeah, Nick was. I completely disagree with his opinions of the coaching search. If Mike Vrabel was the coach this year for the Jets, I think it's fair to say their record at the bare minimum right now is, instead of 3-10, I think at the minimum they're 7-6. I don't think that's crazy. I don't. I think they might be better than that. Jarrow says, what's Rodgers' cap or dead money if we cut him? $49 million. Trying to find the cheapest way to get out of the deal. I mean, it's $49 million dead cap if they do it this offseason. That's the cheapest. You keep him for one more year and he doesn't restructure, and then goes up to $63 million to cut him next year. Ryan with a super chat. Bobby Midnight for new. I already read that one. Indy Jets. Bobby, our new strength and conditioning coach. Yeah, he's just got to stop listening to Gary, though. Too much butter. Can't do it. B Sport, Super Chat. Head coach options, in my opinion. Vrabel, Monken, Kingsbury, Johnson. Don't have a solid opinion on a bridge quarterback, but Monken and Jalen Milroe would be an exciting combo. Milroe sitting and developing is exciting. Bo, Super Chat. Trying to replicate the accomplishments of another coach / franchise / GM is a recipe for disaster, in my opinion. Use the pieces that work. Vrabel works. I mean, Vrabel's won. He's been successful. We're seeing Sean Payton have success in a second stop. We're seeing Jim Harbaugh have success in a second stop. Andy Reid is the best coach in the league. He's had success since leaving Philadelphia. Great success. I wanted an experienced coach. They tried it with Adam Gase, which was a joke. He shouldn't have been hired. Hire a real head coach who's done it. Bo writes in, how does he not spray his pants peeing like that? Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Bo, get ready to get Bobby Midnight. Bobby writes in, hi, Bo, you're a funny man. You know what that means? Go F yourself. That's what that translation is for. More of your calls right now. Let's get our eyes locked in on the prize. David's up next. What's up, David?
Hi, Jake. Hey, as far as the game this week goes, I never root for the Jets to lose under any circumstances, but my nephew and my niece live up in Jacksonville for quite a while now, and they're big Jacksonville fans. So it's going to be kind of a fun thing. We'll text back and forth or message back and forth and razz each other and all that. So it'll be kind of our Florida Super Bowl.
I love it. I hope the Jets win so you have bragging rights.
Oh, I hope the Jets win too. Always. The coaching thing, and Nick Faria, I'm a fan of his. He's terrific. Yes, I agree with you though. Vrabel's a no-brainer and Flores, but I'm also the person and somebody with experience, but the person in me, an offensive-minded coach. Because when I was over at that game over in Miami, their coach calls the plays, right? Miami.
Mike McDaniel calls the plays. That is correct.
Oh my God, Jake, and we're in my seats and just watching the plays. Not only where the ball is, but outside of the ball. There were so many different things. Now they had that Tyreek Hill, and he's terrific. But the other thing I do want to mention is I touched a little on Paul's show this morning, and he's talking about the GM. I think is it Ginn that you said, guy from Buffalo,
Brian Gain. Yep,
Gain matched up with Aaron Glenn. So he was talking about Aaron Glenn, and I know Aaron Glenn was just a wonderful player, and it's always been for him the dream job to coach the Jets. And they said and you guys were talking about bringing the culture in and everything, and I love Robert Saleh as a person, but. And he talked about trying to change the culture and everything, but I really don't think it was successful. So Aaron Glenn, he played when the culture was changed.
He'll have a good vision for the culture potentially, but he's inexperienced.
Yeah, I know, and I agree with you.
Mike Vrabel will see right through the BS, and he'll fix the nonsense.
Yes, I agree with you totally, and you have to forgive me for being sentimental and sucked in with Aaron Glenn, but I'm on board with you, sir. I would love to have Vrabel in the worst way. So, David,
I think you got a great perspective on things. I do. I think you're seeing it clearly.
Thank you, sir. That's my MO, I guess.
David, you're the man. Great call as always. Love David T, man. That guy's making a real run in March. I'm telling you, folks. More of your calls coming up. Hit the like button. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Let's see. All right, we're caught up on super chats. Let's get to more of your calls. Let's say hello to O-Rox, who's next. What's up, O-Rox? We haven't heard from you in a while. You're on mute. There you go. You're good.
Yeah. Just came up here. I just clicked into the show. I was like, you know what? Haven't called in a while. Gonna go ahead and do that. I'm with Mike Vrabel as a choice. I didn't get really a good chance to watch the Titans as much. You were covering that division. It's more in your line, but all I know is that the guy won 11 games consistently until that last year. Who was his offensive coordinator at that time?
Well, Downing was actually his OC, and then
Todd Downing, yes.
And then he had the DUI situation his last year there. I mean, his OCs before that, though, Arthur Smith and Matt LaFleur. So Arthur Smith's doing a good job this year in Pittsburgh. He was obviously a head coach, which to be hired as a head coach, you have to have success as a coordinator first. And then you look at Matt LaFleur, he's probably one of the better head coaches in the league.
I feel like Vrabel, if we get the right OC, can do a lot of damage. He brings the culture that we need, some strong, disciplined culture. But we also need a good offensive coordinator to go along with him, I think.
Amen.
That's basically what he was missing that last year. That and a quarterback.
Yeah, I mean, look, Will Levis was in his rookie year, and the talent level had not been as good as it had been. I mean, I think in the right situation, Mike Vrabel's here next year, and this team is competing for a playoff spot with competent quarterback play because I think the defense is better. The special teams can't be worse than it was at the beginning of the year with Zerline. Like, they're not a Super Bowl team, but they're a team that could give us a winning season, and you could start changing the perception of this franchise being losers by hiring someone who could get you competing for a playoff spot in year one.
You know what I think? If all of these former Jets coaches, we need a powerhouse to take the stink off of this team. We need a powerhouse all around. OC, DC. Hey, Rex Ryan, you really want to help? Be able to come back as DC. If you really want to help Mangini, come back as our OC and see what we can do with three masterminds. Not just guys that we just picked up that are, scraps from other teams, but three masterminds at what they do.
Mm-hmm. He'd hire a real coaching staff, man. I don't think Rex would be on it, but he'd hire a good staff.
It's a long shot for that three in a group. But like, if you guys are really truly dedicated, like you say you are, and you say you've been over the last couple of weeks over the air trying to get the head coaching job, hey, would you mind stepping back and taking a lesser role to help take the culture to a different level? Hey, that's all I got though, Jake.
Oh, Rex, good to hear from you, man. Call back anytime. Look, if Rex wanted to be the DC, I'm in. I don't think he would do it, right? He's going to be like, I'm going to be the defensive coordinator of a franchise that, other than Weeb Eubank, I'm probably the second best coach they've had. I mean, Rex has 4 playoff wins on his resume. He's going to be a DC. I can't picture it, but who knows? First class agency in on the membership gifting, baby. How about it? John Stepik is now a channel member. We're up to 27 members. For every membership gifted, you get your name on a raffle ticket. That goes in the bucket of champions here, where we pick a winner. We gave away the Sauce jersey earlier and the Namath photo. The next raffle includes the Rodgers throwback, so we could pretend like he was our quarterback in 2010 and it would have been us winning the Super Bowl with these jerseys on. And the other prize I have here for the old school Jet fans is this photo that you could frame of the Jets lining up before the kickoff of Super Bowl III at the Orange Bowl. So I wanted to do a nice little mix of current and old. We'll do giveaways all throughout the month here. Appreciate everyone for the support. Let's keep going with the calls now. Let's say hello to Bijan, who's next. Hey, Bijan.
Hey, Jake. How's it going?
I'm hanging in, Bijan. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. I I'm definitely agreeing with a lot of the callers here. I definitely think we need a culture reset, just learning how to win. And I know, so like somebody like Vrabel or Flores, as long as they get the offensive coordinator situation right, I think would be a step in the right direction. And I know, not to say anything about Nick Faria earlier, but I know there was, and I get the obsession with trying to really get the offense quarterback situation right. So that tendency to want to go after an offensive person. But we've seen in the last year, guys like Dan Quinn, guys like Jonathan Gannon, guys like Mike McDonald have relative success, and they're more about implementing that culture, especially a guy like Dan Quinn. He brought in the right OC, and obviously he got the quarterback situation right with Jaden Daniels. But for him, it was more about getting the right people in the building and rebuilding the culture. I think that's first and foremost. Like, there is a broken culture right now with the Jets. So if you get like a Vrabel and bring like a Chad O'Shea, the Browns passing game coordinator, along with him, yeah, I don't know. I don't know if they have exact Patriot connections. They may have overlapped, but the fact that they're on the Browns right now together, we're on the Patriots at some point. That might be a possibility. Passing game coordinator. I mean, the Browns, whenever they don't use Deshaun Watson, their offense is amazing. So somebody like that, and I think even Bergonzi, the Kansas City GM, has connections with Vrabel, or get like a Brian Flores, Josh McCown, and then maybe a Dennis Allen as your not Dennis Allen. That would be for Aaron Glenn. But like just somebody like that would just hold people accountable, reset this culture. For me, getting like a Jameis Winston as a bridge guy, I maybe get someone in 2026 if Winston doesn't work out. That's kind of where I would like things to go, if possible.
Now, Bijan, could you ever have imagined when you made the Monday Night Football theme for us to use on the show, that we'd be talking about a 3-10 team this year?
No, this is definitely one of the more, maybe the most disappointing year. There's been some memories that have been like etched into, like I think the 2007 season, like that opening day when Brady just throws it to Randy Moss against like 3 defenders. Like that memory just sticks out to me as like, oh God, it's going to be a long season. I remember that. One of the positive memories though was the 2015 season when we beat the Patriots. Fitzpatrick throws it to Decker and the crowd just goes nuts. So I remember that. And then I think this one also might be one of the ones that I will forever remember because, as you can see, I bought the hat. I bought into the hype, the Rogers hometown, Mr. Rogers house. I don't know if you can see the logo here, but like I bought into it. I was like, yes, here we go. Yeah. I really bought into it. I bought into like the Brady Stafford effect of like, oh, all we needed was a quarterback and it's going to fix all our problems. And no, it turns out there's a lot more that's happening in that building that we're not aware of. That needs to be fixed.
Well, I'll tell you what, Bijan. Even though this year has been a nightmare, we will always have this. Before I bring on our next caller, it's fitting that Bijan was just on the line. And then while Bijan was on the line, Neil dropped a 10 spot of channel memberships, 10 raffle tickets for Neil. But ladies and gentlemen, this is what happens when Neil and Bijan come together. And Neil joins us right now, baby. Neil, here's who got your 10 memberships. Dean Paparella, Justin79, Brad McCaffrey, Don Reck, JetLife321, Joseph Rivera, Jose Oliveros, Yedis Deletus, Steven NYC, Spin DeBen, all receiving channel memberships. Congrats to everyone who got one. Neil, you're the man. You're in for 10. And I have a funny feeling once you saw this, you're like, I need it. I want it.
Well, I have the fur coat one signed and framed.
Wow.
Did you give that one away already?
That one went to Felix. That was the second place prize from the raffle earlier in the show.
Picture. I have a bigger one of that. It's great. Isn't that a great with Joe's signature on that bad boy?
That's awesome. That's
and it's
so cool.
a big one. It's huge, and it's man, I love that one. But the other one, I'll put a little frame on that one, and I'll forge Joe's signature on that one. It's a pretty easy one to forge. I'll forge it on there. What's the difference?
Oh, why not? Photoshop it on. There you go.
But anyhow, I was listening. I listen to BJF a lot because he's really a common sense. He has that certain thing about him, Jake. You know what I mean? He's got that like sarcastic, like, matter of fact type of thing. And he really knows his stuff. I have a lot of respect for him. And he said something that really rang with me. And I'm just going to leave it at this. He said, who gives a shit who the bridge quarterback is next year? If it's Rodgers, it's Rodgers. If it's anybody else, it's anybody else. It really doesn't matter at this point because really a lot of it's going to depend on the coach, the offensive coordinator, what they want and everything else. So all these arguments we have about him not being the bridge, him being the bridge, it really doesn't matter, Jake, when you think about it, because really there's no great option out there that's going to turn us into a playoff contender right away.
Unless you hit on the coach. Unless you hit on the coach.
Right. And I'm going to tell you something. The more I think about it, this press, and really Ed hit on it yesterday, and this media, the press, all they do is trash the Jets. It's just disgusting. And any coach that comes in here, especially a first-time coach, they're going to be like under a lot of pressure, and they're not going to be allowed to do what they do because there's just too many goddamn disruptions all week long with the press conferences, with this, with that. I mean, you're under a spotlight, and it really interferes with you trying to build the culture. As much as you say you're going to keep things in the building and you want to try to develop something, there's so many goddamn distractions being a New York coach. That's why, the more I think about it, I would be very, very happy if Rex came back and we had an offensive coordinator that could work with somebody like Aaron Rodgers or develop some kind that he's going to have enough respect for to want to come back. Let's just say he does play really well and a lot happens. Having a really, really good offensive mind, I think is going to be really, really helpful.
Yeah, but who's that OC for Rex, right? And is Rodgers, you say someone Rodgers respects, but I think they need someone who could hold Rodgers accountable and say, dude, you're only back if we're running a modern NFL offense. We're not running the system that you're the only one who runs right now that is outdated and not.
I don't think, look, Aaron Rodgers is not like everybody makes him out to be some cocky ass, egotistical thing. Look, Hall of Fame players, get a modicum of respect because of what they are.
Of course. This year has to be viewed as like a humbling experience where Rodgers has to be willing to learn a new system to even entertain the idea of bringing him back as the bridge.
He already said he would.
He's saying that, but let's see him actually be on board with that, and plus I want to see, to your point, how he finishes these final 4 games and who the coach is even at that point.
Right. But if you go with the offensive minded coach, who's the great? Forget about this guy, Ben Johnson. That's bullshit. You know, we're not going to get a first-time guy in here that he's going to get eaten alive, okay? And they're not going to have the kind of.
Who's calling you, Rob? You guys are going over the game plan?
What are you, crazy? I'm running a business. I got people calling all over the place. I got flights going.
You're running a business. What's on the docket today? We don't have Winter Fridays in the on the Neil Company plan.
Have what?
You know, Summer Fridays. I figured there was Winter Fridays.
Do you understand? Everybody's flying. It's Christmas time.
Yeah,
have flights going all over the place.
Where are you? How come you're in the where are you, in the garage or the basement?
I'm in the basement. I put a new have a new area. See, behind me there's a door, right? And then I was in the garage last winter. And I had a heating element over me, and I froze my ass off in the winter time. So this year I got a little workspace in one part of my house with a door behind me, right? So I take the door, I open it up a crack, I take a fan, I reverse it outwards towards the outside of the house so that it sucks the cigar smoke out.
Nice.
And then I have my rabbit air filter here because I have to really eat all the smoke up because all my grandkids, my in-law, you know, these people don't want to, you know, if they smell cigar smoke, it's like they won't even, they get off on, forget it. They won't even come to the house if it smells like cigars. That's how crazy people are. And I understand all that. So I have a smoke-proof room here that I have that is pretty airtight. And this is where I hang out. I put a lounge chair in here. I have my TV. I have my office set up a little bit here. And I bounce around between here, upstairs, my other house in Garden City. You know, I bounce around. Anyhow.
Hold on. I got some comments from the chat. Nate writes in, that was a $10K phone call. Is it true that was a $10,000 phone call that you passed on?
Let's not talk about money, will you? Anyway, you know, I want to say
Jets
something.
Johnny writes in, not wanting Ben Johnson while calling for Rex Ryan is a mental illness that needs to be studied.
Okay, look, like I said, Jake, we need a guy here who's a culture changer. Who the F is Ben Johnson going to change the culture of the New York Jets? A first-time coach, okay? You know, Chuck Gruden, Rex.
Chuck Gruden.
The other guy, what's his name that everybody's talking about that coached Miami that's got some balls?
Your boy Castro loves him, Brian Flonase.
Flonase. I love when Peter starts on his names. Brick.
Oh, it's Ubrick.
What? Give me, go through that. I want to see that again. Give me that freaking. When he goes,
we got to get rid of Yul Brick and then go after Gabriel first. Then I want Queensberry. Got to look at the monkey guy. I like Flonase, and maybe Slow Dick in Houston is the answer.
That's my boy, Rob, Peter. Those are my Goombas, man.
Rob was on hold, but he dropped out. Now, I do have to get your take on a couple things involving Rob. One, your thoughts on the meeting of the minds that occurred earlier in the week, the great lunch that occurred. And then two, what did you make of the controversy Rob was involved in, talking about the amount of women he's dating and his past infidelity? What did you make of all that?
I think Rob, I love him, but, you know, he's got it cool as Jets, you know, exposing too much of his love life and everything. You know, it looks like a Hallmark movie moment. You know, we should do a Hallmark movie on Rob, the way it's ending up here. But I will say this: if I win this thing here, right, the Aaron Rodgers jersey,
yes,
right, I have two of them, so I'm going to gift one to either Allen, Philly Noodles, all the Rodgers haters. I'm going to send one, and I want them to wear it on the show. That's the condition I have. Who's the biggest Roger hater? Philly Noodles hates him. The big guy hates him.
Big fella?
Big fella wants him gone. PBM wants him gone. You know, let me tell you something. All the guys that want him gone are really all the more reason he should come back. I mean, it's the kind of guys that, you know, really are not great take guys, you know, overall that want him back. But the Rodgers jersey is going to go to one of those guys. I want the picture. And then we'll figure out who we're going to give that to. We're going to gift it. and then I want you to demand that they wear it on the show.
Ladies and gentlemen, sports fans of all ages, welcome to the event of the year, the moment you've all been waiting for. This is the Asmaniac Rumble.
Good
There
late
he
morning
is.
to you, Neil. Good late morning to you, my
How
friend.
are you, Philly Noodles?
I'm not bad, man. I'm living.
Are you going to put that jersey on if I send it to you? Tell me you will.
Listen, I have a Rodgers T-shirt. I didn't want to be not a fan of Rodgers. We all did. It's more the fact that if we're going to usher ourselves into the future, we gotta cut off the ties of what's holding us back. And unfortunately, his not his arm is doing it. It's his Bambi legs. That a man
His what legs?
His Bambi legs. He can't stand
Bambi
underneath
legs?
himself. Yeah. Listen,
Right, we'll see.
be honest with
We'll
you.
see. He didn't look so bad the last game, Philly. He moved around pretty damn good.
Until that 2nd and 15, and he went down on a sack where he should have thrown the ball to Garrett Wilson, was wide open, would be staring at Devontae Adams too much.
Hey, listen, they all look a little, what's his name there? Purdy. I watched a little Purdy last night. He's not looking like a go-getter, is he?
No, he did. He actually jumped out of his shoes and jumped in his own lineman and got sacked. Did you see that?
Yeah. Okay. That's the great Purdy. And how about Stafford? He was throwing the ball over the field. He didn't hit a receiver he's throwing dirt balls out there in the rain. Listen,
that's the Nick Faria argument where he's saying the offensive mind would have won that. A kicker would have won that game. Let's be honest. But period on the story. I'm not saying anything about his legacy, but we cannot let a 41-year-old quarterback who literally does not trust his body anymore be our quarterback for the future for $63 million. If he says, bro, I'll take another pay cut. Oh, Vrabel's here. I love Vrabel. We're going to go chop it up at the steakhouses on the evenings and bullshit. Great for them too. You can have that happen. But he's got to take another $20 million pay cut. And then what are you going to do? Throw that into 2028? If we're still paying him for another 2 years
I want to know if he does take I'd like to know. Look, the guy took a $35 million pay cut. We forget about that, okay? No. But just you got to realize something. When he self-evaluates his season, Philly, he's not going to be going, oh, wow, I look wonderful out there. I look like my old self. He's going to be, he's a critical evaluator of himself. And the bottom line is this. When you say bridge quarterback, think about this a second, Philly. Yeah. If we took him out after the Denver game, if some coach had the balls to sit him down for a few games, and he was playing only when he was healthy, right? Yeah. In other words, there are 4 games where he was clearly healthy. That 3 of them, he played really well. The Patriot game, he played magnificent.
The biggest mistake they made is not firing this whole crew of shitheads before the season started. The coaches can't make decisions. They don't correct anything. I mean, this is a joke.
Concord, Neil speaking.
Hey, Neil.
What's happening?
What's happening, Neil?
I'll tell you, another weekend, getting ready for the 7 fish dinner. I'm going to start going to the seafood places. Michelle's up there packing, making all the presents for the grandkids. It looks like Macy's in my house.
Yeah, mine too.
Oh, it's ridiculous what they're doing with these grandkids and everything. Is Joanne shopping and doing all the stuff for the grandkids?
My granddaughter came over last night and she said, Poppy, I want one of those little computers. You know how much it was? $920. I'm like, you gotta be kidding me.
I know. The kids brainwash the kids to tell us what they want, but the more expensive gifts, so they don't have to go buy the expensive ones, right?
Really? After listening to Nick, I want to shoot myself. What is he kidding? Yeah. Oh my God. His takes are terrible. I wanted Jake to send him to the hole.
But don't you agree, though, Peter? Coach? Don't you agree that any first-time coach is going to get eaten up by this media and end up? I
agree. I don't want Ben Johnson. He'll get eaten alive over here. No. It's got to be either Vrabel or Flores. Those are the 2 top guys.
Well, let me ask you a question. Would you be upset if we ran back with Rex with a great OC?
I don't like Rex. After the last 2 years, I think everybody forgot about his last 2 years. It was terrible.
Right.
You
Well,
know,
these coaches only have a 4-year life, a shelf life anyway.
Yeah, true. I would love to see either Flores or Vrabel.
I heard that you want the woman to be the GM. The woman.
No, I don't.
Woman.
I don't want any woman.
Are we going to break the class
for you and the Asmaniacs? We're here. Christmas cheer to all. And bring back Aaron freaking Rodgers.
And then go over here with the video. Look. And say we're at a special table. Look, the table has. There it is.
There he is.
Rob.
I'm here, guys.
Roberto.
The Goombas are here. The 3 Goombas. Not those 3 friggin' idiots yesterday. JJ, Allen, and Gary. And Jake, shame on you. You're saying that you're going to go to a game. Hold up.
Put a light on so we could see your face, Rob. You look like you're in the dark room over there.
Hold on.
You look like you and Rogers are hanging out in the dark room.
This fucking internet. I'm going to smash this fucking internet.
Oh, there you go. All right, that's a little better.
You see me better now?
Yeah, we see it.
Yeah. Jake was saying that he's going to go to a game with Allen, JJ.
Oh, yeah, I heard that, yeah. That's all right.
Jake, you better not, buddy. You're going to tarnish your name going with those jackasses.
Hey, Jake, is Bobby in the back room? I got to make a suggestion for him on the weight loss. Is he in the back room?
He's not.
He's not? Oh, shit.
And what's up with Nick Faria? I mean, was he inebriated when he came onto the program today?
He's a typical reporter for the Jets.
What the hell is wrong with that guy? We don't need Vrabel. He's saying that we don't need Vrabel. He wants
he's talking about Joe Brady. Meanwhile, he's got the best quarterback in football.
He wants slow dick or freaking monkey man. Come on. I want Vrabel. You have a carbon copy of Bill Parcells. Look what happened when Bill Parcells came in. He turned around the whole entire culture. That's what we need. We don't need this needle in a freaking haystack. I don't want to see Justin Fields running around like a little hamster down a wheel here. You know what?
Well, if we don't get
lay on your bed and show us your cleavage. Lay on your bed and show us your cleavage, like that one call you did. You had a nice cleavage in that one call there. I want big fella. Listen, big fella. Take it easy with your Rodgers takes.
Listen. If the new coach, if the new GM, the coach, they want to keep Rodgers, that's fine.
Right. Yeah, I want to see it.
If they're going to get rid of Rodgers, if Rodgers is going to go, let me tell you something. You'll be happy with Justin Fields.
No. I'm sorry, Peter. This is where you and I definitely part. If he's the quarterback, I'm not freaking watching.
You will when they're in the playoffs.
If they're in the playoffs, okay, if I'm in the playoffs, I will come online and I'll apologize. But if I don't, then you got to come on and say, Rob, you were right.
The only way I like Rodgers back is on a pitch count. In other words, he has to play like every couple of games. We got to give him a game off, let him heal. I only want him on the field when he's 100% healthy. Because the reality is,
if our coaching staff had any balls, they would have pulled him out after the Denver game and given him a break. But they're afraid to say anything.
Tyrod Taylor, we paid him all this money.
That's why.
They're in a hurry. 3 or 4 games this year, and we could have won 2 more of those games.
They're in a hurry.
And had a healthy Rodgers out there. That would have been the difference.
Right. Peter, they were in a hurry to get rid of these people and stuff. You know what? When someone gets hurt, you know what? Why is Tyrod Taylor on the bench then? The guy hasn't even sniffed coming in. They could have saved Rodgers' health, put Tyrod in. He could have played a game or 2. Maybe he'd be playing better right now, and we wouldn't have this conversation. But what people don't understand is this, guys. If we get a guy like Vrabel, we wouldn't be the record that we have today, 3-10. We'd be at least 8-5, and there would be no conversation.
Right.
That's
and
the
Rodgers
whole thing
would
that
be
people
healthier. because he would have pulled him out of the game, and then he would have
Somebody
let him
with a
rest.
brain.
Yeah,
Somebody with a
just
brain,
like,
Peter.
Just like what's his name, Kinlaw. He commits a foul and he's on the side. He's on the side laughing. He should be benched. Put him on the bench. Let him sit out.
What is that about? These people are sitting here screwing up and they're giggling. I grabbed them by the neck. I grabbed them. I grabbed these assholes by the neck and choked them.
I think we should take over the coaching staff, Rob.
And then Peter, people lose and stuff, and they're hugging it out. Oh, you want to go out to dinner?
Yeah. No, that's
Just
everybody.
freaking lost. You're embarrassing. You are.
Peter, I mean, Rob, these guys don't care about the game. They don't care about it. They go after the game and they go hang out and they, whack it up.
Millions of dollars.
We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
Rob's gonna get
Bobby!
Rob's gonna get a nightmare of that. He said the last time we talked.
Bobby, listen.
Yeah.
Okay, you could take advice from me. I was 336 pounds. Okay,
Right.
15
I
years
was
ago.
too. 366 pounds. I was.
Okay, now listen to me. You
Yeah.
want to win this a lot of money?
Yeah.
Okay. You go online and get yourself a prescription for this Ozempic or one of these other.
No, that's not part of the deal. I can't do that
Why not?
because you can't.
Why
do
not?
it.
There's no. What do you mean you can't do that?
They said that I don't want to do that. That's not good for me. I'm a
No.
diabetic.
Listen, no. You know what's not good for you? What's not good for you is being as heavy as you are right now. What's good for you is losing the weight and guaranteeing to lose it and not eating fucking sticks of butter like Gary says.
Yeah, I know, but I don't think you could take it when you're a diabetic.
You're supposed to look. The reason that people take this Ozempic, it wasn't for weight loss initially.
Yeah.
It was for something else. I forget what it was, but it's not something that's going to screw up your health. I don't believe. You better
Okay,
look
let
into
me
it.
ask Nick Shine if that's in agreement. Okay.
Forget the agreement. There's no agreement.
Well, that's when we did it on. Yeah. Oh, it is. Well,
See,
okay.
somebody's saying in the chat that Ozempic
okay.
is for diabetes. You're supposed to take it. It's something that helps you for the diabetes.
All right, I'll ask my doctor. I have a diabetes doctor. I asked her if I can take that.
Because the side effect is they found
Yeah.
out the side effect for this Ozempic is it happens to, curb your appetite. And the reality is, so many people are taking this Ozempic and they're finding out that it has a lot of very good effects. There's really not that bad of side effects. But the point is, look, when you want to lose weight and you need help, it's nice to have, because what that Ozempic does is it affects your mind and it tricks your mind into thinking it's full and it lowers your appetite. And that's really the biggest thing and the reason why people are dropping all kinds of weight with it. It's not like a weight loss drug.
Nick's taking it too. Nick
Shine's taking it?
Yep. I'm pretty sure.
There you go. Ask him about it. But I believe it's going to be a very, very big help, and it'll help you with the diabetes.
Yeah.
And you'll not be hungry. You'll lose weight at the same time. And
I
they're saying
still
that
drink
people
my
are
water.
Nick, my boy, there he is.
Neil. There's an agreement, Neil. The agreement was that he had to do it healthy, he had to do it naturally, and he couldn't take any of it.
But Nick, would you stop him from taking that?
I'm not going to stop him, but that was the agreement the night we were doing the pledging on my channel.
Yeah,
a lot of people said, I'll donate and I'll pledge this. Like, some people are giving $10 a pound.
Yeah. So, no, I agree.
When does the contest end? When does it end?
March
It's 16
25th.
weeks.
When?
March 25th.
Okay, Bobby, here's what I would say you to do. Do what
Yeah.
you're doing now. Drop the weight because of the contest, the way you guys agreed.
And do the Ozempic after.
In March, instead of because what's going to happen, I guarantee it, Bobby, I hate to say this, But the minute you cash in your money, you're going to go and start eating like shit again, and you're going to gain all weight.
That's
You're going to start putting butter on your toast, and you're going to start eating all kinds of shit. You're going to put butter on your pizza, and you're going to start getting
butter
all
on
the
my
weight back.
pizza.
And we're going to be right
Butter
back
on
again where you were a year from now.
No, I'm not going to do
nothing
that.
to be ashamed of. Bobby,
Yeah.
I yo-yoed for 30 years. Okay?
Oh, me too. Yeah.
Okay, bottom line is diets don't work.
No,
okay,
they
that's the moral of the story. So this Ozempic is different. Nick, how long have you been taking Ozempic?
I took it, and the damage it does to your stomach, without getting into too much detail, like you can't get more than 50 feet away from a bathroom on certain days because there's no stopping it. It was horrible. The doctor switched me over to Mondrano, and I'm losing very quickly. And I don't need any carbs now. I haven't had carbs since October 29th, and I've lost 27 pounds since October 29th.
I can't even believe it. I can't even believe it.
But that's a similar. Is that a similar drug to the Ozempic?
It is, but it's a lot easier on your stomach. A lot of people have
look,
issues.
there's 4 or 5 variations of it. You have the RO. They advertise all these different kinds of it. But is one of the benefits that it's good for a diabetic? Is that the deal?
It's very good for diabetics. It helps bring down your A1C.
Yeah, well, let me tell you guys a story about that because my sister currently is on Ozempic. Okay, she was never very heavy, but yes, she had a little bit of weight issues. She's lost 40 pounds. She looks terrific. In the beginning, she had stomach issues. Nick is right, but now it does go away, and my sister swears by it. She loves it.
How much weight has she lost, Rob?
40 pounds.
There you go. They say you lose 20% of your body weight, Bobby, so you'll drop about 200 pounds.
It is a hit or miss.
Right, no, but
Nick,
that wasn't the deal with Nick.
Nick, I will confirm.
I get it.
It's a hit or miss.
You're not going to start the Ozempic until March. When you
Bobby, here's what you do. Bob. You do the best you can now. You diet right, you exercise, and then come March, you see where you're at. And then you go to your doctor and say, listen, I've been doing this for the last 16 weeks. I feel that I could do more. I feel I could lose more. I feel it would have helped me. Is there something that I can get on to help? And, and after the 16 weeks, they do your blood work. You check yourself out, see where you're at, and let the doctor help you from there.
Right, definitely.
But the main thing is you being committed to it. If you're not committed to it, I don't suggest looking for some special drug to help you lose the weight. You got to change your lifestyle. You got to be more active.
The natural way, Bobby, the natural way is always the best way.
I told him he couldn't do that.
If you can't, but Neil is right. If you can't, and it's a matter of you dying and living, then that's what you do.
Do the Rob method. Screw lots of women, get 3 or 4 girlfriends.
No, I can't get it up anymore, so don't worry about that.
It'll come back, Bobby. It'll come back.
Yeah, once I lose the weight. Once I lose the weight.
There's doctors for that. Might be the same doctor if you're lucky.
Calm down.
Thank you, everybody.
We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
Oh my God. This team might be 3-10, but these shows have been unreal the last week. Great job. Well done. Neil, tremendous. Rob, Nick Shine providing some details. Unreal. Neil, big fella had this super chat for you. He says, Neil, stop pretending that cigar is Rodgers. Anyway, Bang Mateo with a super chat. I want Rob V to take my wager on Drew Aller. I don't know what the wager is, Bang Mateo, but I love money. So your $2 is the only reason why I read that. Anyway, let's see. Henny wrote, now everyone in here thinks they're Mel Kiper Jr. You know how this works, Henny. These people don't watch college football all year. Now everyone knows everything about these players. We don't know. It's a crapshoot. I hope the Jets hire a GM who does know. Shout out to Jimmy. He became a channel member during the show. Jimmy, that's a raffle ticket for you. Jimmy writes in, just joining from the West Coast. Listen every day. WTF was Faria talking about? This team needs a culture. They're soft. Amen. All right, let me get to a couple of calls here before we wrap. We're approaching 2 hours. Let me get to Jimmy Wise Guy. Is this the Jimmy that just became a member?
It is.
Hey, what's up, Jimmy? Thanks for signing up.
Hey, Jake, how you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Oh man, I'm so good. I'm just cooking the laundry right now. But let me tell you, huge fan. I'm out on the West Coast, so I never catch the live show. But today I'm up early. I'm doing some stuff, getting the things done.
I love it.
And yeah, got my Jets hat on just for this call. Let me tell you, man. First of all, Farria's out of his mind. I am the biggest diehard Jets fan. My first Jets game was September 9th, 2001, 2 days before 9/11, right before all that. I went to the game with my father, firefighter, with a bunch of firefighters. Like, that is in my heart. And I joke with my dad, he hates this show, but when Aaron got hurt, worst 9/11 of my life. So I love the Jets. And yeah, we need a culture change, dude. Like, plain and simple. I don't know what Farria's talking about. Like, these guys are soft. These guys are softer than baby shit. Like, it's so bad. Like, we have so many talented players, so, especially when we lay our principle is defense, and we get gashed in the run game for 7 yards a carry regularly. Like, we can't hang our hat on defense. And yeah, okay, Faria, we got to get our quarterback right. So yeah, everybody does. Like, who doesn't? If you don't have a quarterback, you're not going to win. Purdy was the last pick in the draft. Brady, 220, whatever. Like, if it doesn't matter where you get him. Russell Wilson's the third round pick. He's got a ring. Like, it doesn't matter where you get him. It's not about, oh yeah, can they develop the quarterback? Like, if anybody could develop a quarterback, yeah, then they would have the secret. Like, every team is looking for that. So we need a culture shift, a dynamic one, a one that will actually lead us to an era where we don't quit. We don't not show up for games.
And Jimmy, Joe has the stat here. Like 6 of the 8 division leading teams have defensive coaches, right? Like, you need to hire good coaches. Like, if you can't fix the quarterback right away, it's not like the Jets have a young quarterback they're trying to mold right now into being a franchise guy. Then maybe you argue, all right, maybe you get the offensive guy because he's going to work hand in hand with the quarterback. They don't have that right now. So hire the best coach that can help you win as many games as possible, and you'll figure out the quarterback as you go. I think the plus of Vrabel is he's won with different quarterbacks, and he's hired a good staff before. So that's why he'd be my number one guy.
Yeah, and the people who get hired out from under him, that's just indicative of the fact that he is an excellent coach. Like, when people are coaching your people, that means that you're doing something right. All of his OCs, all of his DCs are getting hired for head coaching jobs. Obviously, he's doing something right. Like, yeah, he's stuck in Tennessee, and obviously that is completely dysfunctional. And you've seen how it's gone with Will Levis throwing backhanded passes and stuff like that. Like, Vrabel can't coach that. Like, nobody can coach that. Be like, yo, what are you doing? Like, even his coach this year was like, what are you doing? What were you thinking? So, like, you can't coach that with a second-round pick. So that's not an indictment of Vrabel. Like, it's really just the reality of the situation. And this team has needed a culture shift since Rex. The only time they overperformed with Rex because they had a dynamic, culture-changing coach who set the precedent. That team overachieved, at least in my regards, and it was one of the most funnest rides of my life. But I literally I listen to you guys every day. Like, I know these people in my ear that you were talking to, Neil, Gary, all these other guys, Lowski, all these guys. I listen to them all the time because I go on morning walks, but I always listen to you guys on record, and I never get to listen, So I joined today, even though in the darkest hours, I joined today just to make a point, just to call in and be like, hey, man, Jets fans are still here. Like, we're still doing this, and we're rooting for it. I mean, it's tough. It's tough sledding out here. Jets, Mets, Nick, and Rangers. Like it's a tough sled.
All right, hey Jimmy, I appreciate the call, man. Appreciate you checking in for the first time. Look, this fan base is the best in sports, I'd argue. There's no football team that deserves success more than the Jet fans. I mean, the loyalty we show despite the mess and the ridicule and the scrutiny. Like the Jaguars suck, nobody cares. Tennessee sucks, nobody cares. When the Jets suck, it's a national story no matter what. The way the Jets get covered versus other bad teams historically is remarkable. This fan base deserves so much more, as we always say. Hamburger's next. What's up, Hamburger?
Morning, Jake. How you doing?
Living the dream, Hamburger. What a show it's been.
Yeah, been a good show. Listen, just one thing. I'm sure if Bobby goes to the doctor, I'm sure if he was the candidate, they probably would have prescribed him the Ozempic already, since he is overweight and it does help with the weight loss and the diabetic. But there's one other downfall to that it does take your BMI away, your body mass index. So you not only lose your weight, but you do lose muscle mass. So that is one downfall to it.
Does Bobby have muscle mass to lose, though?
Well, yeah, you will do. Otherwise, if he's going to lose the weight, he's going to get down. And then what happens is when people are on it for a long time, they tend to get frail. So it's not for everybody, but you never know. It might help them.
Let me ask you this question. Would he be better off with Ozempic or the Gary diet of just eating butter sticks?
I would say the Ozempic. His best bet is to learn how to eat right, properly, and just get a balanced diet to start and do some exercise. This way it just becomes a culture of his everyday living. But for the first time, I'm going to give you a hot take. As we sit here now with Aaron, you would agree, the same with I, that we don't believe, as of right now, until we see the last days, that Aaron should come back from his gameplay. I think we could both agree with that right now. Right? Just as we stand here, not looking forward, not projecting, he wouldn't be coming back in your eyes right now.
Yeah, right now, if the season were to end today, I don't think he's the Jet quarterback next year.
Correct. I feel the same way. Now, I don't know why, but for some reason, I've been thinking a lot about having Sam Darnold. And as much as you think that he might not come back, with a regime change, with new coaching staff, with new GM, with all new front office, do you think it's any bit of a possibility that he does take a chance to come back? Because you look at all the quarterbacks, he's the best option. Really, if you look at it, he would be the best option for the Jets. I mean, he's on a team right now that, what are they, 11-2? I mean, he's a guy that we could win with. We know what he can do. He's a good option. He's still young. You probably can get him for 3 years for a decent price. I think it's something to look at, and maybe you never know. I don't know how he'd feel about coming back, but I think it's a pretty good option if you ask me.
Yeah, I look at it like this. I don't know why he'd want to be back, personally. I don't know if he'd want to deal with the media market and coming back here. I think Minnesota's going to keep him, by the way. I don't think they're going to let him go. Yeah, I do. I think they either franchise him or they just extend him, and then they're like, we got J.J. McCarthy, and we'll figure it out. So I don't think it's going to be a scenario for the Jets. I mean, I'm not anti the idea of it. I think it's more Sam wouldn't want to do it. I think the only way you could maybe get Sam is if it's like, let's say it's Flores and McCown is the OC, and then Sam sold on that. Like that's that. But I don't see it happening.
You don't see it happening. I give it like a 15-20% chance, but I would like that. I think he would be our best option. If we can get him, he would be the best option for us. Out of all the candidates we have, I think he would be the best for a 3-year deal to be able to come out there, perform with a new coaching staff, and then we play along with the draft, and maybe we try to take somebody second, third round, somebody at, maybe take somebody this year, but maybe next year as well. Find that guy that's hidden in the weeds for us. You know what I mean? At this point, I'm willing to do anything.
Hamburger, look, you brought a lot to the table today, and I think your takes on Ozempic and butter certainly will resonate with the audience.
So you don't like the Sam Darnold take?
I just don't think it's going to happen. I like Sam. I just don't think, one, I don't think he's leaving Minnesota, and two, I don't think he'd want to come back to the Jets.
Yeah, I'm not saying it as it's gonna, but for some reason, for me, it's been in my head the last probably 2 days. I just didn't want to say it. I didn't want to let it out there for everybody to chatter on, but that's why it's a hot take.
Look, you could say whatever you want on this show as long as you eat butter. Those are the only rules around here. More of your calls right now. Rob wants back in on the conversation. Yes, Rob?
Yeah. Jake, please tell me that you're not going to that game with the Three Stooges.
I forget what the stipulations were, but it was Gary, Allen, they had to fly in, and then JJ, and then the four of us would sit together for a game. But I forget if there was, I think, did Jameis Winston have to be the quarterback?
Yes.
I think that.
Yes.
So, yeah, I mean, look, if Jameis is the bridge, I'd sit with them for a game. Why not?
With the Three Stooges you're going to sit with?
I think it would provide some great content.
Oh, my God. They'd be winning the game by 2 touchdowns, and then your buddy at the end would throw 3 picks going the opposite direction.
Mm. Now, I believe their official nickname is the Bozos, by the way. You know, now Dave Briga is the 4th Bozo, according to BMAC. Yeah.
I don't know.
It'd be Briga, Allen, JJ, and Gary. They make up the 4 Bozos.
I don't mind Briga. I think Briga is borderline Gugine. He's not
You're a Briga guy?
Yeah, he's okay. I like BMAC too. I feel a little bit bad that people are piling on BMAC. I mean, that's probably not right, but
Purple Belt Mike writes, big news here. I sat with JJ at a game and it was awesome until we lost. Interesting.
Imagine if I went to that game that time. Remember, I lost that competition. That was that cold day where they wound up losing that game. Thank God I didn't go to that game. It was a blessing in disguise. I probably would have had to sacrifice JJ's life that day to feel better, to be honest with you. But
yeah, I mean, look, we know you're aggressive, Rob.
No, I'm only kidding. I'm a teddy bear.
Jaden says, "Get over it, you child." Would you like to respond to Jaden?
Jaden, stick your hand in the like socket and do your hair again, buddy. Love the hairdo. Love the hairdo.
Ladies and gentlemen, Rob going up and in on Jaden D'Angelo. Wow. Strong, Rob.
I don't know where we found that character.
Probably
just got out of jail.
Whoa. Don't say that. That's ridiculous. Jaden's a great guy. How dare you, Rob? Get out of here. These are fighting words from everybody. Goodness. So much for the holiday spirits on this show. What are we doing here? Ted's up next. Hello, Ted. Ted never stirs the pot.
No, I only tell the truth. Jake, the Goomba Gauntlet was pretty good. I have to say your shows the last few days have been excellent. I might be Neil. Please, Neil, I've seen you with your shirt off. Please do not give dieting advice. Please.
Wow. Wow.
Please. Jake, maybe
Ted.
the only one in here that does not want Mike Vrabel. I don't want the stink of a Patriots dynasty for the Jets. He's in the Patriots Ring of Honor. He'll come in and next you'll see Rodney Harrison and Julian Peddleman, on the sideline as assistant coaches. I don't want any part of that, Jake. Nothing. I'd rather take Rex at that point.
So because he played for the Patriots, you wouldn't want him to be the head coach? Who cares?
Yes. No, I do care. It's like people were mentioning,
silly.
Tom Brady.
That's silly.
It may be, Jake, it may be silly, but I'd rather have the passion. I'd rather have a
he has passion.
Of a Rex Ryan.
He has passion.
Okay.
Mike Vrabel has passion.
Because it sucks to lose, Gentry.
Trey, ever need to show you anything?
Did you have another thought, or no? I'm just curious.
Well,
it fucking sucks. Losing. Awful. That's why I want to win. Because you don't sleep.
I mean, what are we talking about? He never coached for Belichick, by the way. He coached under Urban Meyer and Bill O'Brien.
I understand. He played under Belichick, though.
Okay, so he played for him. You rather have Rex Ryan than Mike Vrabel. You cannot be serious.
I would. I'm serious. Or I'd rather have
to quote John McEnroe, you cannot be serious.
I'd rather have Aaron Glenn over Vrabel. I want somebody who loves the Jets, firstly. I would take that over an
Mike Vrabel would love the Jets? He would want the job because he thinks he can win. What do you mean you don't know? Todd Bowles, did he love the Jets? I mean, like, Jake, you hire the best coaches.
Okay, I'm not going to sit and argue.
Does Bill Parcells
I
love the Jets?
Okay, I don't think he's going to take the job because he's in the Patriot Ring of Honor. I don't think he's going to do it personally. But let me
What
say
are you
this. Can I
talking
finish my
about?
point?
No, hold on. Let's stay with this point. This is outrageous. Outrageous,
No, it's
Ted.
not.
What are you talking about?
Okay.
You don't think he would take the job because he's in the Pats Ring of Honor? Who cares? If the Jets paid him the most money and he wanted the opportunity, he would take the job.
Okay. Okay, we'll see how it plays out. Let me ask you a question.
What a pot
Do you
stirrer.
think there's
You are unreal.
Oh,
Unreal. You don't believe this. I don't believe you.
No, actually I do believe it. I didn't want to see Tom Brady. There was some inkling, but people saying Tom Brady was coming to the Jets. I wouldn't want Tom Brady on the Jets.
That's not the same thing as a head coach who's had success who never coached under Belichick and has been a really good coach in the league before.
Okay, I'm just talking about the stench of the most hated rival of the Jets coming.
There's no
and bringing
stench.
in their
He
posse.
hasn't played for the Patriots since like 2006.
Doesn't matter, man. Doesn't matter.
What do you
Okay,
mean
let me
it
make my
doesn't
last
matter?
point.
This is
Can
the
I
worst
make my last
take
point?
in the history of the
Okay.
show. This is the worst
That's
take.
fine.
You
I'll
don't
live
want
with it.
Mike
I'll live
Vrabel because
with
he
it.
played for the Patriots.
I will live with it, Jake. I will live
also
with it.
played
I'm
for
a
the
man. I'll
Chiefs.
live up to it. Okay, can I make my last point? Is there any way I'll live with it. Is there any way that Kyle Shanahan's going to shake loose from the 49ers?
I doubt it.
Okay. That's the first guy I would want. Can we trade for him?
Why would they get rid of him?
I mean, he's good, but they haven't won a championship.
Hey,
with him.
Ted,
So, like,
great point from Nick Shine. This is why Nick Shine is a content creator that everyone should go subscribe to his channel. Do you want to tell Ted where Parcells and Curtis came from? Great point.
Okay. That's a long time ago, though.
Oh, whoa. So was Mike Vrabel playing for the Patriots. You know what wasn't a long time ago? Mike Vrabel having
Jake, you're
success
talking about,
as an NFL
okay,
head coach.
Jake,
Okay,
Jake,
so
Jake,
how do you feel about
you're
Brian
talking
Flores?
about-
How do you feel
okay,
about
can I
Brian
talk?
Flores?
Jake, can I talk? You're
Maybe.
talking about, okay, you're talking about the stink of a cheating, most hated franchise in history. A player coming over who's in the fucking Ring of Honor of the Patriots. He's not a regular player. He's in the Ring of Honor. Okay? He's not going to take this job. I'm
What
gonna
does
stay
that
with
have
point.
anything to do with his ability to coach?
He may be a good coach. He also had a Hall of Fame running back that he leaned on a lot.
Okay, and his quarterback was Ryan Tannehill. Oh, with the Jets, he has Breece Hall, Braylon Allen, and Isaiah Davis.
Okay. And okay, I understand. I'll stick to my Jake. I'm sticking to my point.
Mike
I don't want an
Vrabel
ex-Patriot.
last played for the Patriots in 2008. He then played for the Chiefs in 09 and 10. What are you talking about? Parcells came from the Patriots. Curtis Martin came from the Patriots.
But that wasn't the cheating Belichick dynasty and all
Who
the controversy.
cares? He was
I
on
care.
defense. He was on defense.
care,
It was a good
Jake.
player. He didn't coach under Belichick.
Okay, Jake. You're gonna be happy to see Vrabel,
Yes.
Julian Pedelman
Yes.
with PEDs.
Okay,
You
Julian
can have
Edelman.
it. You can have it.
Wait. Hold on. Stop it. What does Julian Edelman have anything to do with Mike Vrabel?
I'm just saying. Say he's like the quarterbacks. You
He's
think he
not.
won't bring
He's not coaching. He's on TV on Fox. He doesn't want to coach.
Okay, but what if he brings in some of his ex-players? You gonna love that too? I
No,
will love
because
it.
he hasn't brought in any of his ex-players when he was in Tennessee.
But Jake, that doesn't mean he's not gonna do it.
What? No, it means he's going to hire a quality staff because we're going to try and win games like he did in Tennessee. You wouldn't like the fact that you wouldn't like over the next 6 years that the Jets win 9 or more games and 4 of them if they go to a championship game, if they're the 1 seed 1 year, meaning they get a home playoff game for the first time since 2002, they win 2 division titles. You wouldn't like that?
I would rather pick
Who?
person.
Who?
that
Rex
has a
Ryan,
love-
who hasn't coached since 2014
No,
with the Jets and struggled to hire a good
mentioned-
offensive coordinator? Not the guy
I
in Mike
mentioned-
Vrabel who's hired 2 of them who became head coaches? Not 1,
I mentioned-
but 2, Ted.
I'd rather have-
Count it. 1, 2, 2 of them.
I'd rather have Aaron Glenn over him.
Oh, my God. Because he
That's
played
okay.
for the Jets?
No, and he's coaching under the Lions, the best
Oh, my
team in
God.
the league.
Oh, my God.
Jake,
Ted.
I would have somebody who's familiar with the Jets media, who's played here, and who knows over Vrabel.
You
That's what I'd
suggested
rather have.
Julian Edelman out of nowhere. You lose all credibility when you're throwing stuff out there.
No, I didn't suggest it. I'm just saying if Vrabel somehow happens. Well, let me finish, Jake. If Vrabel gets to coach, and all of a sudden I see these ex-players coming in, I'm going to be disgusted. I really am.
There's no evidence of this. Who are the ex-Patriots? And the last time the Jets won 12 games, guess what their coaching staff was? Parcells guys, who all were Patriot guys.
No, you're not understanding.
Romeo Crennel, Patriot guy. Bill Belichick, Patriot guy, was the defensive coordinator.
You're not understanding. This is the cheating Belichick, scandalous Patriots.
My God. Mike Vrabel was a player. He wasn't a coach on those teams. He played for the Pats as a player and then went to the Chiefs and then went to Ohio State and then coached under Urban Meyer, coached under Gary Kubiak and then Bill O'Brien. What are we talking about?
I'm sticking to my principle, Jake. He's in the
Your
Ring of Honor
principle
of the
makes no
Patriots.
sense. Your principle is ass backwards. You don't want a good coach because he played under Belichick. That makes no sense.
There's other options. There's other options who can handle the media.
You're going to try and tell me Rex Ryan is a better option than Mike Vrabel?
I said
Aaron
Glenn
Glenn
too,
is
Jake.
not a better head coaching option than Mike Vrabel.
I didn't say he was better. I said he might be better for the Jets right now. He understands the franchise.
Why wouldn't Mike Vrabel be good for the Jets? Other than he played for Bill Belichick, which is seemingly the only point you're stuck on, why would Mike Vrabel not be good for the Jets?
I'm not saying he wouldn't be. I just wouldn't like it.
No, that seems like what you're saying.
Yeah, I'm okay. I'm okay
You're
with it, Jake.
standing on principle. This team hasn't made the playoffs since 2010. Mike Vrabel made the playoffs in Tennessee how many times, Ted?
With a
Mike
Hall of Fame
Vrabel won
running
9
back.
or more games in Tennessee.
Yes.
How many more times? How many times?
Aaron Glenn has never been a head coach, Jake.
Right. He is not.
Okay.
Mike Vrabel has.
Right.
So
You
how
want to
could
fix the defense too?
Yeah, I do.
I do.
Mike Vrabel's a defensive guy. I think he can fix the defense.
Okay. I think Aaron Glenn could do just as good a job. Probably better.
Here's Aaron Rodgers talking
That's
about
my
Mike
opinion.
Vrabel.
Oh, man. You and Brady's good friends, right?
I agree. I happen to agree. Yeah, I like Mike a lot. We talk a good amount during the season. I mean, not really about football at all, just about often how silly this business is and some of the just things that get attention. But I like Mike a lot. I've known him for years. Age has been there with some of the conversations at the Derby over the years. He's a really funny guy. And I just like his personality and the way he is. And obviously he's a great coach. He's just he always has his guys ready to play. They fly around on defense and they've got to take on his personality, I think.
Yeah, he's an incredible coach.
Okay. So Aaron Glenn could be one too.
He might
We don't
be.
know.
He might be.
Right.
But your take is horrendous that you wouldn't hire Mike Vrabel because he once upon a time played for the Patriots.
Okay. I made my point. I'm not going to keep going in circles. Thank you, Jake.
Ted, thank you. God damn it, man. Oh, my God. Some super chats here from Eiston. Didn't think it was possible for someone to be smoked more than Nick. Benny says, where did this Edelman as a coach nonsense come from? Laugh my ass off. This take is doo-doo. Pittsburgh Mike, only until the whistle blows on the last game of the season can we truly evaluate Rodgers' future with this team. Last 4 games, just evaluate rookies. Yeah, I mean, look, Aaron Rodgers' play here over the last 4 games, I do believe, heavily influences his future potentially with the Jets or with a different team. I do. Oh, the Yankees have made a move. Okay, Devin Williams happened during Ted's nonsense there. That's a big-time relief pitcher right there. All right. A few minutes left in the show. Philly, what are we burning today?
We got a Jaguar.
All right, let's do it. Can you also burn Ted's horrendous takes?
Horrendous takes. He does this. You know what? We're gonna burn all the bad shit in the air. So Ted's terrible takes. He does this on Paul Boy Green's show as well. He'll hop on with these erroneous takes, and then he ends up arguing with his host a little bit, without proving himself at all on his take, which is the best part. Saying Edelman coming out as a coach. Who else is coming? Randy Moss. Is that why he's stepping out of ESPN? I would assume so. Since
Ladies and gentlemen, sports fans of all ages, welcome to the event of the year, the moment you've all been waiting for. This is the Asmaniac Rumble.
It's Ted
So,
takes.
hey,
Ted, what's
Philly.
up, man?
Hey, Philly, what's up? So my horrendous take was trying to get something for Brees Hall at the trade deadline and Sauce Gardner. That's a horrendous take, huh?
Yeah, Sauce Gardner may become a Pro Bowler next year with the right coaching staff. Maybe even
The sun
Aaron
may
Glenn.
rise. Hey, the sun may rise tomorrow too. You don't know that.
We pretty much kind of know that's a foresight that it will. So
let's hope.
the sun's going to come up the next day. It's a foresight. Unless
Gotcha.
What are you going, bibliological end of the world nonsense? It's not the end of the world. Actually, in the Jets locker room, it become the end of the world. Garrett Wilson, my state is more important than worrying about Sauce for next season. How about that? I'll raise you that.
Okay. What's my other horrendous points? My point was if we're going to clean house to get a bunch of first round and second round draft picks. That was my point.
We have first round talent on the. Why would we get rid of the talent we have?
Because of the bad culture and the bad play.
Hold on, I gotta step in here. Philly, thanks for the time. Burn the Jaguar. Your take was to trade Brees and Sauce at the deadline?
Yeah. Yeah, if we're going to have a Jake, you can attract. Listen, if I got a first round pick.
No.
Yes, I can't talk. I thought this is a free. I can hear Gary's takes about, eating butter, but I can't talk about my theory of.
Yeah, because at least those are somewhat funny in how ridiculous they are. You actually think it would have been smart for the Jets to trade Brees and Sauce at the deadline? What do you think you were getting for them, first and foremost?
No. See, obviously people don't listen. I said if we could have gotten a first for Sauce Gardner, I would have thought about trading him. That was my point. I wouldn't give him away for a third rounder. And then you'd have
the first person to get 5 memberships will be the reason we send Ted to the hole for the rest of the show. Oh my God. Are you kidding me?
You could send me. No.
I don't know which take is worse, the Sauce Brees take or the Mike Vrabel you don't want him because he's in the Patriots Ring of Honor.
Okay, Jake, if you have, say you got a second for Brees, right? And you got a first for Sauce, and you go to a young potential head coach and say you have a top 5 quarterback, you have 2 number 1s, 2 number 2s, come here and build our franchise. Then you don't have to worry. You wouldn't think about that if you were a Ben Johnson?
No, absolutely not. I think Ben Johnson would laugh and say, why would you get rid of our best players? Ladies and gentlemen, 5 memberships have been gifted. Ted, thank you for your service. Thank you for stirring the pot. Thank you for some of the most outrageous takes we've ever seen. We love you, but we don't. Or maybe we do, but your day is done.
Now look what you've done. No more protection from the Asmaniacs. Had to pull you out of the chat and cast you down with the sodomites. Some time in here will feel like you've been run over by the lane train. You understand me? You catch my drift? Give them another 24 hours to think about it.
Five memberships gifted right here, right now. That's No Ghost, Funky Monk, Dan Philcox, Alexander Brown, and Sylv. Holy crap. Wow, Ted, you really pissed people off. A $50 super chat from Jets Johnny. Please make it stop. It's pink like my Asmaniac 4% shirt. I love it. Jets Johnny. $50 to say, Ted, you're out of your mind. Holy crap. Wow. He wants to trade Garrett and he wants to trade Brees and Sauce. I mean, what are you talking about? The job would not be more attractive without those guys. It's more unattractive. You think Ben Johnson wants to take over this job with even less talent? Oh, you have more draft picks. Great, Ted. Where are you getting the quarterback in this draft? And what team is even giving you what you're asking for at the deadline in season? That's not going to happen. Insane take. That and the Vrabel one's nuts. And you backpedaled off Rex and then went to Aaron Glenn. Ridiculous. Jets Johnny, thank you, my man. I'm going to honor Jets Johnny right now. He gave us $50. I mean, man, that's big time right there. Big time. Jets Johnny, you kidding me? We know who Jets Johnny doesn't like. Allen.
We got something for you. You're just a troll on the net after all. Spitting out things that we'd rather forget after all. Words of trash, got no tact. Cartoon character, that's a fact. Always online, hiding behind the screen. Throwing in sauce, being straight up mean. But in real life, nowhere to be seen. Think you're smart, but your logic is whack. A joke in the game, always talking smack. Your opinions do, they're always on track. Bobby said it best, you're a lying crack. Talk big, but we see through the lies. All bark, no bite, just a master of disguise. Great intention, but no one's buying. We laughing at your ass, cause we know you're lying. So tell me, man, why you still trying? Shut up! Enough! Keyboard warrior, that's your role. But face to face, man, you got no soul. Living rent free in that disco. Just a sideshow, never reaching your goal. Relevance is faded just like your name. Doused in the sauce, just a pawn in the game. Elevation, cause all your takes a lane. No check, we'll see you in the J Hall of Fame. Nothing was annoying like a kazoo. Why the f is your skin pop the blue? So let's make it clear we don't with you. I wish your mom would've just swallowed you. A-L-O-N, you ain't my friend. I hate your guts. You are on us. And not in a good way, in a bad way. I wish I could just beat your ass.
Now look what you've done, Allen. No more protection from the Asmaniacs. Had to pull you out of the chat and cast you down with the sodomites. Some time in here will feel like you've been run over by the lane train. You understand me? You catch my drift? Give them another 24 hours to think about it.
Incredible. Jets Johnny, thank you. What a hit that was over the summer. Jimmy gifted 5 channel memberships. You kidding me, Jimmy? Thank you very much for supporting the show. These are all raffle entries for the next one. Unreal, baby. Here we go. Let's find out who got them from Jimmy. Jimmy gifted 5, and they went to Terrell's a Jet fan, Philip Hannon, DYSL Studio, Jay Mully, and Mark Moose. But wait, there's more. I Sten with a super chat. Bang! Excuse me, a channel membership. He just signed up the old-fashioned way. I Sten, welcome aboard. That's a raffle entry for you. Henny writes in, Aaron Glenn with no sauce, Brees or quarterback. Can't wait. Ladies and gentlemen, pot stirrer Ted. Remarkable. All right, that's a show, folks. Big fella, the pot has officially been stirred. Kyle Clifton, there's a chance Sauce makes the Pro Bowl this year. Yeah, Sauce might actually make the Pro Bowl. All right, Rob, you're killing me, bro. 2.5 hours is not enough time for you. You still got to go like this on hold. I'm Rob. Rob, you're our last caller. What do you got?
One, I just want to make an apology to Jaden. I crossed the line. I apologize, Jaden. That's all. Nothing more, Jake. I'm not trying to get more clicks here. I crossed the line. I realized it. I just want to say I apologize. Jaden, you're a good dude. We disagree on shit, but you know what? I crossed the line with that comment. I was a jackass to say that. My apologies. That's all. That's all, Jake. I wasn't trying to get more top 10 notoriety here, but I wanted to say I'm sorry. That's all.
Let's see how the chat reacts to the apology. Bill M says, a real man right there. Addison says, F that. Hell no.
That's up to him. That's up to Addison. What the hell? I crossed the line a little that. You get heated in the moment with football. It's not worth it to cross the line like that. That was BS on my end.
Hawk says, Rob probably ate some gabagool before he made that apology.
Cabo di cazzo. But Hennessy kind of called me out. And I met Hennessy, and Hennessy's a cool dude. And he was right. When I read his comment, he was right. I crossed the line.
Rob,
My bad.
I appreciate the apology. Hopefully Jaden does as well. All right. Johnny Boy, you know what? You were on hold. I don't want to leave you out. Johnny Boy, you're the last caller. What do you got?
Hey, what's going on, bro? Hey, I lost my train of thought with everything that just happened. I had a point, but I forgot it.
Were you calling in to respond to Ted's takes?
Anybody that's heard Ted knows how wild they are and everything in regards to that. So we're used to it. I mean, Hennessy made a really good point in regards to the whole stuff. I mean, if Flores was to come here, Vrabel was to come here, and we got rid of everybody, it would be nuts. But Jake, I wanted to ask you a quick question, bro. I know you're going to the wedding tonight. Any particular songs that you like for them to play and dance moves that you got going on? I think myself in the chat would love to know that.
Yeah, any dance moves?
Yeah, man.
Yeah,
I mean, the electric side.
I do the Bobby Midnight. Did you see him dance on the show the other day?
Nah, which one?
Yeah, he was like, you're doing a little this, moving. That's what I do.
Oh, all right, man.
Where's Bobby? You still around? You call in, give us a little sample.
Oh yeah. Hey, man. Shout out to Ricky for the hat as well, man. Gotta represent real quick. It's your hat.
I love it. Looks good, man.
Yeah. So hey, have fun, bro. I really forgot what I was gonna ask you. It was good. Everything happened, and I was like, what the hell am I gonna talk about anymore? So, yeah, man. Enjoy it. Have fun. Hopefully you get some drunk bridesmaid at the end of the day. Hey, do it for the team, bro.
Ladies and gentlemen, Johnny Boy.
We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
Okay, you want me to dance?
Yeah.
Play that music in the background. I like that.
All right, hold on.
Was that the dance disco music or something?
There we go.
Yeah, I'm getting it. Is this disco?
Oh, yeah.
You're going to dance like this, Jake?
Yeah.
All right. Dance that and do the, make sure it play the YMCA. That's good at the wedding, too. And the chicken dance.
You got to back up a little bit. We can't see your face.
Okay, hold on. Let me back up. Sorry about that. You ready?
Yep.
Can you see now? This is a good way to lose weight, too. Dance. How's this?
Oh, yeah.
That's what she said.
I'm going to give you a new beat.
Yeah, let's get a new beat.
A little slower for you.
Slow. This is like slow. Get it faster. You gotta get faster.
Faster? How about a little rock and roll?
Let's see. Can you play the guitar? How's that?
Exactly what I was hoping to see.
Well, we did the one on Nick's show about that. And
Come on, you got to move. Let's burn some calories.
I think I'm holding the guitar right. How's this go? Good?
Oh, yeah.
Is Gator taking a picture of this? He's going to get it if he is.
I don't know what he's doing.
Yeah, I bet he is behind the scenes.
All right, how about this one?
What? No, that's still too slow. That's slow.
All right, how about this one?
No, that's slow. Okay,
You gotta give it a little more time. The beat's gotta drop.
I can hear the beat. It's slow. Okay, that's enough dancing. I did enough.
Addison says, do the truffle shuffle.
Addison wants you to do truffle shuffle. I'm busy right now.
All right, how about this one?
I'm done dancing. I did enough.
That's it?
Yeah. I'll do some tomorrow, too.
How about the stanky leg?
I'll do it dancing for you tomorrow.
How about the worm?
No, I can't do the worm. I want to get off the floor. You imagine me doing the worm? Holy crap. Okay, let me get off.
Come on, Bobby. You're headed to the neuro massage right now.
Oh, no, don't bring that up. Is Matt Kraft in here today?
I don't know.
He likes this kind of music. Okay, let's go. I went off the screen.
All right. I appreciate the time, Bob. Fun show. Thank you to everyone that watched. Unreal. Hit the like button and please subscribe to this channel. God willing, if you haven't already. Patreon.com/Jake Asman Show. Thank you to Nick Faria, who joined us earlier and got us rolling here. You all are incredible. God, what a show. What a time to be alive. Enjoy your weekend. We'll have a show for you tomorrow. And then obviously post-game on Sunday. I'm on ESPN New York from 4 to 5:30. YouTube show will start right at 5:30. I will talk to you guys then. Ladies and gentlemen, enjoy the rest of your day. Jets. 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 You sleeping, Bob?
I'm in the orange chair. Hi, Aurora. This is for you, sunshine.
How does it feel?
Good. You're welcome, sweetheart. You're a good girl. Sunshine.
Bobby serenaded me last night on his channel.
When I think about you, I touch myself.
Wow.